Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So we're playing our mega Austria. We're chilling. We're playing a huge Austria right here in the middle of Europe. And speaking of being in the middle of Europe, I've been looking more at this, and I was originally going to form Germany, but man, Central Europe is looking really, really tempting. I need 35 state regions to form Central Europe, and I'm currently holding, let me see, there are quite a few that I need to take over from Prussia, but like, I'm gonna have Ruhr and Nordrhein and Rhineland. I think Rhineland is currently split, and that's not gonna be that long. And there are bits Piedmont and Savoy I could take from Piedmont, no problem. Like I could snag a bunch of this stuff here in central Italy and a bunch of this stuff here, and that'd basically get me there. You know, it's a process. It'll have to be a process, but like, you know, it's stuff that can get going. So the Prussians and the Prussians are now at war with a bunch of people. Chiefly the Danes, who are trying to unite Scandinavia. But the Danes have got a lot of people on their side as well. They've got the French and the United States, and then the Prussians have gotten the Belgians. And have they gotten the Russians? No, they've just got a bunch of other small countries. Well, they've got Sweden and Norway, the other countries that are going to be mobilized with it. Looks like Finland is in there too, but Russia is not. Finland, did you get independent? No, you did not. So that's a bit curious. Just in case this goes kind of away, I'm going to improve relations with the Danes, and maybe I'll do the same with the Norwegians and the Finns. Maybe not. No, I'm not gonna. So currently we are chilling, relaxing, and drinking our six-pack. What is Canada? Did you become independent? No, you didn't. What is with your flag? Canada, my man. Ew, hand-crank machine gun. Excellent. Oh, you're an autocratic republic. That's why their flag is so curious. It looks like the United States has begun to expand into Mexico? Yes. They've taken Rio Grande. I'm like, wait a minute, did Mexico expand into America? I'm looking at it like this, because I mistook this border, which is the Rio Grande, from this border here. The shape is pretty close. I'm not just a stupid American. The shape is close. Or maybe stupid's the wrong word. Just, you know, geographically ignorant. So yeah. So to review where we are with our current goals, Rhineland has the Overlord annexed another subject modifier for another 6 months, and then their Liberty Desire is going to start going down. That's ranked here in the timed modifiers thing, so that's going to go away. They're very reliant on us economically, and their fervor is high. But, ooh, Sardinia Piedmont has formed a power block. That's fun. With that having been said, we're starting to get a bonus from clout of pro-overlord political lobby interest groups and opposition, which is useful. And we're getting ticked down from our alliances and defensive pacts. So once this rolls down, we'll be good to go. Our infamy is affecting it a little bit, but not that much. Anyway, pump jacks. The trick with crude oil is getting it out of the ground in a gentle, consistent flow. The pump jack, a straightforward pump, fits the bill perfectly. So that's good. Now that's going to require some changing production methods. For my, I should always change my military buildings production methods, although, wow, we have now overbuilt by really a lot. Which one of these are subsidized? Only this one. Okay. Only the largest one. Well, that makes sense. In Styria. Okay, so, how do I have any... Only in the country do we have tobacco plantations. Oh, no, we have silk plantations in the country as well. No, you are going to be profitable. You just don't know it yet. You can't hide those profits from me. I'm the government man. So let me see. I could go to covered markets, although I think glass is really expensive in my market. Let's go with mass scale trading. I know it's going to make the trade centers seem unprofitable, but they're not. They're just pretending. Alright. So let's unpause here. Oh, right. I've got why did I pause? Because I've got the oil event. The discovery of oil in East Galicia, is causing people to flock to the state, hoping to find jobs in this booming industry. Gold, silver, diamonds, for what? Trinkets and finery for the gentry, glamour to hide that their time has passed? Listen, my friend, nostalgia may be gilded, but the future runs on oil. Encourage this trend, oil is the future. Extra migration attraction. Extra oil industry employee mortality. Reduced oil industry standard of living. Oil industry employee standard of living. Extra oil industry employees, increased oil extractors throughput, or progress is best tempered with caution. Half the migration attraction, half the throughput bonus, half the oil industry employees bonus, but no increase in mortality, no reduction in standard of living. These are the first two options. So encourage this trend, oil is the future, and progress is best tempered with caution. The other options are always encourage an oil rush wherever it is found. This is the same as the first option, except this event will be hidden in the future, and the above effects will be applied automatically whenever there's an oil rush in a state. Or, caution is always wise no matter the time or place, which is the same as the second one, except it will always be done without asking. I really like this. We were starting to get the oil rush events all the time before this current patch, so this is really good. I'm going to pick the second one, or the fourth one, which is caution is always wise. I never want my standard of living going down. And my standard of living is going up, which hopefully is partially bringing about these loyalists. So East Galicia, we now have... Wow, that's a lot of oil. Holy shit. Damn. Okay, hold on. Let's build a bunch of fucking oil wells. Do I have the infrastructure for that? Not all of them, but I have the infrastructure for 40 of them. Let's do it. Time for oil. Let me see. Ooh, corporatism. Nice. Okay, so the Ottoman and Egypt are fighting. Egypt, you got a new flag. Have you become a republic or something? Yeah, that's what that is. It's supposed to... I wonder if the trigger that was causing that sound bark to happen all the time was happening because it was supposed to show up here whenever you look at another country's domestic screen to show that they're in a revolution. That's fascinating. I wonder if that's what happened there. Nope, they're a monarchy. They're an elective monarchy. Interesting. People of the Book. This is new. This is a new special one. 25 acceptance from state religion, but 5 acceptance from shared religious traits and religious trait groups. So religious trait group is Abrahamic, which is all of the Christian and Jewish peoples in addition to the Muslim ones. So this is interesting. This means that in addition to the jizya, the religious tax, there's higher acceptance at it looks like it's state religion for people with the same religious group. So compare this to what we have in ours. Our state religion modifiers are minus 10% from religious trait groups. It's only extra acceptance for the state religion that helps. And then no modifier for shared religious traits. So that's interesting. All right. We are improving relations with Hohenzollern and with Denmark. And we're building up a bunch of oil. So what is this going to do for our market? Oil is an industrial good, I believe. We're currently importing all of our oil. So once these finish, I'm going to change up my trade policy. I'm actually going to subvene export of oil, probably by a little. And I'm going to cut all subventions and impose an import tariff. And that's going to get the East Galicia oil rigs running. Running real nice. Alright, so... We should see this about to drop. And we do have synthetics research now, which means we do have synthetics plants being running. Let's set a tariff on importation of dyes to encourage our native synthetics industry. Let's sort by market price, shall we? That's the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. Wow, we're importing a lot of engines. Let's set a tariff on engine imports. I should be building... We should have our own engines. Where is my motor industry? I need to be conscientious about that. I set that that subvention forever ago, and I wasn't even thinking about it. Okay. Motor industries, let's build 5 levels in Baden, 5 in Partium, 5 in Franken, 5 in Württemberg, and 5 in Schlesien. There we go. I'll get us a nice solid motor industry once all of this is done. I'm actually going to throw a few of these at the top of the queue so that they get built at the same time as these oil rigs that I'm working on. I am now in the negative, but I'm only paying 15k in interest, which is a lot. I do want to go back to not building soon, but not too soon. I do have the capacity to go to technocracy eventually. Technocracy is interesting. It's much more of a lock-in for the moneyed interests than what we currently have, which is oligarchy. And that is something that I want to do, because again, we're trying to play this a very sort of politically conservative game. That having been said, we're not at all badly in the red, and a long-term strategy built around building up industry is generally preferable. So maybe I will continue to build stuff continually. Let's see. How does the oil market look? All right, now we are a net exporter of oil, which is good. We do wish to be a net exporter of most things, if we can afford it. We're producing a lot of... We're importing a lot of hardwood, which is curious. What about softwood? Softwood we are softwood we should be on export subventions, actually. And then hardwood... That's curious. So that tells me we need to be producing more hardwood. So let's produce more hardwood, shall we? We'll swap a couple large logging camps over to producing hardwood, and we'll see how that affects profits. Wild wells. Blowouts, oil fires, and other lethal accidents are becoming more common as the hunt for oil in Ostgalizien grows more ruthless. You think you've seen fire, but you've never seen fire like this, he said, giving the young man a stern look. And you better pray you don't, because if you haven't been out on the oil fields, the only place you'd ever see it is hell itself. Where there's oil, there will be blood. Happier industrialists, trade unionists unhappy, extra oil industry employee mortality, or pressure the owners to take a more careful approach. Reduce throughput, happier trade unions, unhappy industrialists. Well, unfortunately, I do care about the opinions of the industrialists because they're contributing extra to the investment pool. So I'm just going to say there will be blood and damn the consequences for my people, because that's simply how things will go. Alright, so this should... I'm going to set an export subvention for hardwood as well, and hopefully that doesn't goof me up too much economically. I realize I am basically paying for other countries to buy my goods, but I'm you know, there's a sensicality to it. How profitable are my synthetics industries? Synthetics plants, they're not that profitable. What is synthetics industries inputs? It's fertilizer and sulfur. And where are we extracting sulfur? Sulfur is industrial good, right? Yes. Mostly from sulfur mines. And where are they being produced? In Venice. Alright. So, synthetics industries need to be physically here. Let's build 20 levels. Do we have the infrastructure? Not really. Let's throw a few of those on top. And we're a little short on taxation capacity here, so we'll build up a level of that as well. East Galicia might need more taxation capacity. Oh, East Galicia doesn't have any trade centers. That's part of the problem. Let's build those up. And might as well build one level of infrastructure just for reasonable situations. So, Rhineland should be... Oh, they're getting support and dependence from somebody. Gosh dang it. What a tragedy. We'll give them knowledge sharing. As we have been doing. That's a shame. I was really hoping to get them moving downward. Hopefully... What country is Prussia? Stupid Prussia. Stop it. Is our truce over yet? It's not. Everyone wants the Rhenish to stay independent, but I want to annex them. Gosh dang it. Maybe we need to continue to entangle them economically. Are there any resources that they have access to that we need and can build up usefully? Not really. This area is a massive coal area, although maybe it's not a massive coal area yet in history. Let me see, they got profitable textile mills. That's something they can build up. Tooling workshops are profitable. Tooling workshops are profitable in both areas. Let's go ahead and build those up. We'll do 10 levels here. And then we'll do 10 levels of textile mills here. And hopefully that'll get us running in good stead. Now, anywhere that we need more... Oh my goodness, we're actually really low on... Oh no, these are time modifiers. These are the annexation modifiers. Niederschließen and recently conquered. Styria, Baden, Württemberg, Böhmen, and Bosnien all need an extra government sector or two. Well, just one, really. Does Styria genuinely not have any trade centers? I think it might not. Alright, what were those ones again? Styria, Baden, Württemberg, Böhmen, and Bosnien. Baden, Württemberg, Böhmen, and Bosnien. Alright, yes. You, sir... Ooh, not trade capacity. Well, I'll build that anyway. This is Bastion, right? Do you have a modifier? No, for them it is the recently conquered modifier. Alright. The end of spring. So this is someone else's Springtime of the People's event has ended. This is still showing up for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Anyway, perhaps it is too early for us to agree on whether our attempts ended in success or failure. I would like to believe we've set in motion forces which will continue to advance our goals long after the fires of this era have gone out. The world is changing. A Sicilian radical revolt in the two Sicilies. Well, I would certainly like to participate in that. It seemed to be a little bit short on influence, I believe. I'm not sure what has caused this. So Scandinavia has now been formed. The war ended in a Prussian loss, and Scandinavia has now annexed all of Scandinavian territory except for Finland. Because this was a very low maintenance thing a little while ago, and now it's high maintenance. I'm going to cease improving relations with Hohenzollern at the moment. Because that'll get me in the positive, and that's what I need. Oh, and I also lost my rivalry with Sweden because they stopped existing. That's what happened. That's really what happened. So, who are viable rivals? Let's go with... I'll rival Sardinia-Piedmont. No problem. I'll rival Belgium. No problem. I'm number 2, and I'm trying not to antagonize the GPs. What's wrong with me? Companies losing prosperity. Well, be more prosperous then. You goober? Alright, I can support more declared interests. Oh, dang it. I lost my shot at getting a subject. Let's declare interests in Scandinavia and the Dnieper. I may have lost my shot at getting a subject. Did they get a subject out of this? If they got a subject, I'll be sad. No. Alright, they're good. We're good. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Sardinia-Piedmont, how could you do this? And by do this, I mean continue to exist. Alright. So Rhineland relations are good. It looks like France is going after Tunis, which is fine. Well, 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 well. The British are getting involved against the Russians. They're calling us as their ally. Very well. Get everybody together. So, can I take the British in a fight? 330. Close to my battalion's 311. I think I can. We'll send GK north there to deal with that. Now, okay, they don't have an overlord, so no one can get really goals in this. So it's just a question of holding this front until the situation becomes untenable for one side or the other. I definitely need a real navy. I think that's something I have been neglecting. We'll call this the Austrian Imperial Navy. Not that I dislike the Kriegsmarine, but you know. So for naval tech, that's right, I'm working on pan-nationalism. I still don't have the monitor, I only have the ironclad, but I'm getting the monitor spreading to me. So that'll be sorted before too long. So with that having been said, let's build up some ships. I'll do the same thing I always do and build up even numbers to start. We'll do 5, 5, 5, 5 for light ships, and then for ironclads we'll do 5, 5, and 5 for a 35 flotilla fleet. I may need to put a halt to construction, which is a shame. And there's pan-nationalism, and that gets me extra political strength per vote. Interesting. And support separatism strength, which is pretty rad. That gets me enough authority for one more consumption tax, which we will place on porcelain. Now, I was thinking about cash flow. I've got a little bit of a problem with market access in Ungarisch Tifebene. Do we have a railway being built here by the private sector? We do. Where else do we have shortages of access? This is not the market screen. This is the market screen here. Transylvania and Württemberg. Have you got a railway building? No, it's not Württemberg, although you're close. Is it Baden? Yes. It's Baden. And have you got a railway building? Yes, you have. And then Transylvania. You do not. So I will get building one immediately. We'll see if this winds up a mistake. I don't think it's going to. I think the British do not have the capacity to hold this side, so I think we'll be good to go. I've got an event. New neighbors, new grudges. A minority group of Boer people has recently settled in the state of Ostgalicia. Boer people are second-class citizens in in Austria. This arrow means it's going up, though, so I think they're going to be fully accepted. No, they're good. They're at 50. They're at 75, and maybe a little bit more due to what you call it? What do you call it? Maybe a little bit more due to religion. Due to religion. Yeah, because they got the heritage trait group and the language trait group, so they'll have a little more from religion. So, they don't belong here. Our South German customs, our way of life, they'll be lost if we let the Boer settle. Claimed a prominent landowner, his words echoed in the taverns and markets of Lviv. The newcomers, hopeful but weary, whisper of opportunity, but face closed doors and hostile stares. I read the flavor text, but not the main thing. A minority group of Boer people has recently settled in the state of Ostgalizien, seeking a better future. And oil jobs, presumably. However, the local South German elites are stirring up resentment, claiming the Boer newcomers will destroy the traditional way of life. Blah, 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 all that other stuff. So, our options are the Boer people must accept their lot. Acceptance of Boers pops in Ostgalizien is reduced by 5. 25% of Boer pops become more radical. 20% of South German Upper German pops become more loyalist. We must foster harmony between peoples, whether Boer or South German. 5% of all pops in Ostgalizia become more radical. 50% chance Boer acceptance goes up by 5. 25% chance each it goes up by 15 or down by 5. Or the South German ways cannot continue to dominate our modern nation. Acceptance of Boer pops is increased by 20. 20% of South German Upper Sternum pops become more radical. I'm doing a more traditionalist playthrough, so I'm going to do the top one. A small number of radicals is not necessarily going to create a problem for me. Yeah, I think we're going to win this one. I think Great Britain is barely getting involved in this. Let's see. We're working on identification documents now. That's going to allow us to get another level of home affairs, which we're currently getting a rock-solid increase in Sicilian revenue. There it goes. Right, and that causes us to lose our treaty with Great Britain, but relations are still good. Their attitude has become antagonistic, however, which is a shame. Oh, boy. And there is a naval invasion. Let's put our naval invasion defense army in this area. Do I want to rock out with my naval bases out? I think I do. Now, I still need to get this railway built as soon as possible. So we'll do that. That having been said, these ratios look really good. I think we're definitely going to win. A doctrine of iron and steam. The introduction of vessels with metal-skinned hulls represents nothing less than a revolution in naval warfare. Near impervious to traditional types of shot, Admiral Archduke Friedrich von Habsburg-Lothringen assures us that Austrian dominion of the seas will be absolute. While wooden ships with iron men might beat iron ships with wooden men, it sure doesn't hurt to have the armor on our side. This will make our line of battle invincible, extra navy defense. Metal bows, metal rams. What could go wrong? Increased Navy offense, reduced Navy defense. Or Austria rules the waves, extra prestige from Navy power projection. I'm always going to go with the extra defense on this. I think winning battles is way too important for that. Now, so interesting. So, Rhineland's increase in liberty desire has gone up to 0.07. Their support and dependence from Prussia is now weaker. But something else has gone up. I'm not sure. Something else has gone away. It's hard to tell. But my infamy will be down soon, so that'll get them going downward. And hopefully that will continue. Alright, how much occupation we have of Campania? 52% for our side. And when this battle finishes out, it'll be even more. 79% now. So hopefully this war should sort itself out and be good to go before too long. And then I can get back to doing all the things I desire to do. And there's identification documents. I'm going to immediately start increasing home affairs again. And that should be nice. Standard of living is continuing to tick up. We're a little behind the other European powers, I think. So France is at 11.5, Prussia at 13.2, Great Britain's at 13.3, Spain at 13.7, Russia's at 9.4, so we're ahead of them. Finland at 13.2, Scandinavia at 12.2. Who's setting up Scandinavia? Chancellor Adam Klaumann. Cool. Some guy. Scandinavia is being headed up by some guy. Oh, we also have to take the other Sicily. Well, that does make sense. Let's go ahead and bring General Commando south into the situation. The Austrian Imperial Navy is still increasing in size, but it'll hopefully get there before too long. Maybe we increase Navy wages? Yeah, I think we increase, or military wages rather. It's barely going to cost us anything. GK North, low organization. Naval invasion currently. Are you cold cereal right now? You just stopped naval invading me, you goobers. Alright, well let's send a fleet out. I know they're not fully equipped yet, but hopefully we'll be able to delay the naval invasion. Russia wants an alliance. They want to give us trade privileges. No, they want to get trade privileges, give trade privileges, and they want us to give them sulfur. Russia is not really a country I desire an alliance with right now, because their military is garbo and will only get worse. I think the French Republic is a better ally, so I'm going to have to negotiate. I don't desire this alliance. I will happily trade privileges. What if you allow me to construct inside you? No, they don't desire that at all. Let's get trade privileges. Alright. So now we have some allies in here, and now we're properly defending that naval invasion. So hopefully this is going to end. Yeah, the Sicilian Radical Revolt is losing 7 war support per week, so they're probably gonna be sorted before too long. And now we have an ironclad shortage. Alright, so military shipyards, let's get one of you building steel-hulled ships. Let's get maybe 2 of you building steel-hulled ships. Yeah, demand is quite low, but it'll be more later. It'll be more later as our fleets continue to get constructed. The trade unions have come into being, and they are so mad. They couldn't be angrier, TBH. I guess I got them mad earlier. Yep, there's the Navy defeated, but that's okay. They did what they needed to do. We're defending our front now. We're going to win the war now that we've got the enemy capital. So it's all coming up PG Woodhouse or whatever. And other words that make sense. We got 26% occupation of Sicily, so we are moving forward on that front as well. The only hope the British had was to knock Austria out of the war. And that's the end of it. And that's the end of the war, and that's the end of the war. So. And now the Austrian Imperial Navy has been repaired. So, things are looking pretty good. My infamy will be below 25 very, very shortly. And then, hopefully, Rhineland will be moving towards... They're still not. Well, oh, because the support independence... Oh, Belgium's supporting their independence. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. Am I going to have to reduce autonomy then with infamy? That seems silly. So the thing is, if they revolt, and I have to fight the Belgians and the Prussians, that wouldn't be the end of the world. Assuming I can win that war, which I think I can. France? Oh, you know what? You know what changed? You know what changed? I figured out what changed. It was the line item about our alliances. So, let's see if we can remedy that. France? Let's talk Turkey. Do I not have an alliance currently? I have a defensive pact to the two Sicilies, and I've got... What treaty is this? Ah. This is no longer binding. I'm going to withdraw from it. France, you old so-and-so. Alliance is not available because they've already got an alliance. Who do they have an alliance with? They currently have an alliance with the United States. Alright, that's fine. France, you old so-and-so. Let's have a defensive pact. Do you mind if I invest in you? 60%. What if I also gave you something? What if I gave you cash money? So one thing about the AI in this game is it really, really overvalues small amounts of money. So like 21, like it's saying yay on this, and this is 3K per week. So this is functionally nothing for an economy of my size. So I'm gonna say let's do it, and we're gonna get a defensive pact, and we're gonna get investment rights in France. Right? Yes. Let's do it. So hopefully that will give me a strong... There's the Convention of Prague, and maybe that will start getting them 0.05, minus 0.05 from Austria's alliances and defensive pact. So that's good. Now, if I can get another good defensive pact, like perhaps Scandinavia. How big is Scandinavia right now? Well, their military is kind of pathetic. Bitch, I might. Oh man. Let's not be an insane mega idiot here. If I say reduce your autonomy, the United States will step in. All right. Well, that's a shame. I think the thing I've got to do is simply keep my infamy from going up, which is quite sad. The United States is making a protectorate of somebody in the Brazil region. Better not be Brazil. No, it isn't. It's Paraguay, Uruguay. I was close. It was one of the Guay nations. I was very close. I had it down to 2. You gotta believe me. My South American geography isn't as terrible as it looks. How's our cash flow? We're spending about 20k in interest. 20k in additional expenses. The developing the can opener is going to be done soon. A Corsican national awakening. Excellent. This is going pretty well, all told. I'm happy to have my economy growing once again. I'm at number 2 GDP, 71% domestically owned. Let's take a quick look at that, because I've got... So who owns most of my GDP? It's mostly Great Britain. Well, if I wanted to be a silly Billy, I could simply start nationalizing British businesses. That would be extremely expensive, but I would be allowed to do it. The Austrian-British Fellowship is very sad now because Britain broke their thing with us. They're notorious, but they are friendly. Let's see if we can get another alliance. They don't desire one, but I'm sure we could sweeten the deal. Well, they're still at plus 40. No, they don't want to give up investment rights. Well, let's just have an alliance, Britain. Let's just have a regular old-fashioned alliance. That's nice. So now we should have a much stronger... Yeah, 25 from Austria's alliances and defensive pacts. But they're getting 35 from support and dependence. They're getting 20 from Belgium and only 10 from Prussia? That's absurd. Is Belgium a bigger country than Prussia at this stage? They are. Belgium. I'm not even mad. Belgium, based. Let's be better friends. Were we rivals at some point? I don't know. Oh, we are. I'm going to stop improving relations with you. Belgium, you old so-and-so, you did it. You made it. You're in the books. You're in the big leagues now. And with the other GPs. Well done. Little buddy, I can't even explain how jazzed I am for you, my rival. I know I should be mad because they're my rivals, but I'm not gonna be. That's rad. So, dyes. Let's throw in an export subvention. I still don't think I need an increase in tariffs. I think tariffs are just fine for dyes. They are quite expensive, but here's the thing. I'm building up a huge synthetic resource industry. There's the monitor. So let's get the Imperial Navy upgraded. This guy needs another promotion, because this Navy is going to get bigger. We'll upgrade our frigates to monitors. That means we're going to need additional steel-hulled ships. Not all of our military shipyards need to produce steel-hulled ships, but a lot of them do. Alright, so now we've got a shortage of ironclads. I'm going to put an import tariff in for ironclads because we have sufficient facilities to produce steel-hulled ships. I'm going to swap the shipyards in Venice over to producing steel-hulled, and hopefully that'll be sufficient. Our entire navy is steel-hulled. These all look profitable right now, so I think we should be good. Maybe the answer is we build up more navies. We are upgrading our frigates right now. Contentious topics. An event organized by the radical movement transformed into a brawl as opponents of the movement infiltrated the crowd. When the police arrived, no participant was willing to give a consistent statement. Most of them had at least one bruise, a cut lip or a bloody nose. His was much less honorably attained than the rest of theirs. He'd whacked his hip against the corner of a table while rushing for the exit, only to nearly run headlong into an approaching gendarme. Two conflicting stories rose to mind, one that he would tell to the detective, and the other he would tell to his friends. Give them all a day in jail to cool off, -1 interest group approval, or seek charges to the event's organizers. Weaker radical movement, but angrier trade unions. You know what? We're gonna seek... We're gonna seek charges. Weaken the radical movement. Let's do it. If we can get them below 50, because they're currently producing obstinance, and this is probably going to be interfering with taxation. Well, not as much. Czech pops are moving to Britain. Interesting. Rhineland, you old so-and-so, how you doing? Still going up in Liberty Desire, huh? Oh, it's because the freaking... I don't know where this knowledge sharing agreement keeps going. But it keeps going. One day, your independence will not be supported by other people, and then I can eat you. And then I can become a German. You know what? Maybe baiting Rhineland into trying to revolt is the better move. It's going to decay relations. It's going to make things difficult. Well, the thing is, I got them moving downward now. The only thing that's keeping them up is support independence from other countries. As long as I can continue to hook forward technologically, which I am still doing, I am still above my innovation cap, I can continue to spread knowledge to them, and that'll be useful. What is this? This is a Hyderabadi uprising against Hyderabad. Oh, and what is this? This is the Ottoman Empire going after Bulgaria. Ooh. Sadly, they don't wish to be my puppet. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it seems unfair. Now, there's also an Ottoman Empire, a Turkish uprising in Greece. So that's interesting. And where geographically is that? On the islands over here. The Dodecanese, I believe. Alright, so I don't need to worry about that. Unless the Ottoman Empire steps into it, in which case, maybe they will. Sadly, I can't get a war goal against the Ottoman. And Russia's going after Greece. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, look at all this. The shallow draft solution. Designed for coastal defense operations, what monitors lack in ocean-going capabilities, they make up for in cost-effectiveness. Admiral Archduke Friedrich von Habsburg-Lothringen has informed the Admiralty in Vienna that his fleet will keep any foes away from Austrian waters. Sir, while it might indeed look like a cheese box on a raft, I assure you that the 15-inch guns she carries in that box of hers are no laughing matter. Secure shores means secure commerce, extra trade center throughput. Let us orient our naval doctrine around them, extra navy defense. Or we don't win by having the best ships, we win by having the most ships. Extra military shipyards throughput, reduced offense and defense. I'm going to go with this one to increase defense. I'm always going to go for increasing military stats. Now, Prussia is going after Saxe-Meiningen to change their regime and turn them into a protectorate. They don't wish to have my help, which is a shame, but it is what it is. They're going down by 0.1. I need to get them more economically dependent. I am building in them now. Let's build up some livestock ranches in Rhineland. In Nordrhein, let's build up... not a great place for vineyards, but anything helps. We'll build livestock ranches in Ruhr as well. Do they have the sufficient infrastructure? They don't. So we'll throw some more railways into production in both of these areas as well. Romania sides with Bulgaria. You get them, Romania and Bulgaria. You can do it. I believe in you guys, to be honest. I think you can take them. And if you can't, then we'll just have to take them for you. Starting Piedmont, no, you're in your own power block. And you're a major, believe it or not. How much infamy would it be if I... Sorry, did I see a country in here that I can make a protectorate for? Oh, 3.1 infamy to take Lucca. 4.5 for Tuscany. But what if I took Lucca? Are you in my power block? Is that why? You're not. I can't eat the state. Why? Because relations are too good. Well, that's fine. That's curious. I thought something had happened with Sardinia Piedmont, and I might be able to get them as a protectorate for 2.5 infamy, which would be... Oh. I can do a return state CB on Hohenzollern. Interesting. They might accept 29%. Although I really need to sort Rhineland first. It's going up. Why is it going up again? More countries supporting their independence. Gosh, no, Prussia simply has gotten stronger. Gosh dang it. This is getting really tough. I've got to build up more stuff in there. That's the only way to do it. Maybe I'll build up even more railways in the Rhineland and the Ruhr. East Galicia pipeline. Oil companies operating in East Galicia have been requesting government assistance in funding a pipeline, promising that its construction will be accompanied by other infrastructure improvements. Putting a liquid inside a solid, putting that solid inside another solid, and propelling the whole mess across a railway, trust me, in the future they will laugh at how we once did this. Now, let me show you how simple it can be. It'll just be like turning a tap. We'll contribute to the funding of this project. It costs us money indefinitely, but makes the industrialists happier for 2 years, and indefinitely increases infrastructure and oil extractors throughput. Or this is not in the budget, makes the industrialists mad. I'm going to go with the first one. Fund that project. Yeah, a lot of my interest groups are big mad. Rotary valve engine, nice. I do still technically have serfdom. Go to homesteading. Can I go to commercialized agriculture? I cannot, because I don't have mutual funds invented. Well, it's your lucky day, because I kind of want mutual funds. I have socialism spreading. That's probably not going to cause a problem. So do I want that before trench works? I think I do. So after that, we'll do military statistics, Genical to self-propelled torpedoes, and then trench works. And that'll be just fine. Oh man. You guys are losing real bad over there. I can't believe it. You're being crushed by the Ottoman, same as it was in ancient times. How could you? How could you? How could you? Oh, Romania formed. Nice. Damn. I could take the Russians in a fight. Ah, curse Rhineland. You know what? We're going to go for Hohenzollern. Let's... If there is to be a general European war over Rhineland, let's have that happen. So this should give them increasing, or not until the war starts. So that'll give them increasing liberty desire due to an annex war goal, or some such thing. But it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I just want to get Rhineland aligned together with Württemberg. Because right now the state of Württemberg is split, and there's no reason for it to be split. It has an infrastructure shortage, however. So we'll build up some railways there as well. Gosh, I didn't realize. How's infrastructure? Is everyone good? Everyone's not good. Everyone's kind of down bad. You need a railway. And was it Bohemia that needed railways? Wow, yeah, Bohemia needs railways bad. You need a lot of railways. Holy crap. You need 5 railways. Things are bad in Bohemia. Golly, I didn't realize things were this extreme. Alright, so now, once we get mutual funds built, we can go to industrial farms, or whatever it's called. And then we'll be good to go. And at least, hopefully that'll make some people happier. And we'll get rid of serfdom. Commercialized agriculture. That's going to make the trade unions happier for a little bit. And it'll increase their baseline happiness. Questionable practices. Released patients from the Vienna asylum have steadily denounced their practices involved in their supposedly medical treatments. Mistreatment of the sick, withholding of personal letters, and disproportionate punishments were among the charges. They would make us sit in a chair for hours, if not the whole day, in silence. We couldn't talk to any other patient, not even read a book. They would only excuse us to go to the restroom if we were lucky. Otherwise, it was just a rusty chamber pot. No food, no water. If we were not sick when we were admitted, we would be within just a few weeks. Their judgment cannot be trusted. Salty Catholic Church. It needs to entirely revise how asylums work. Costs money, increases standard of living. Or the Catholic Church can take over the administration and reduce bureaucracy. None of these are great. I'm going to piss off the Catholic Church by saying their judgment can't be trusted. That's going to reduce education access across the country for even longer, which sucks, but it is what it is. Literacy is still going up now due to the increase in education. If we can get compulsory primary school, we continue to get that going. Booming oil industry. The recent expansion of the oil rigs in Ostgalizien has boosted confidence in Austria's future as an oil producer. If our ancestors had seen machines powered by a black flammable liquid bursting forth in the earth, they would surely have called our technological marvels the work of the devil. Thank God we live in such enlightened times. Get every drop from those wells, extra oil extractors throughput, or we'll find more things to put oil in. Progress towards combustion engine. I'm definitely going to go with that progress towards combustion engine. I love getting early starts on techs. That's something that Victoria 3 took, I think, from, why don't you go and attack? I say as though that's their fault and not definitively mine, which it is. Ever-increasing influence. Members of the Austrian British Fellowship have discreetly dispatched one of their number to amplify their mission in Austria's most widely read newspaper. The Austrian British Fellowship has calculated with utmost mastery the dissemination of materials to secure a foothold in both the political world and the public's imagination. With great satisfaction, a lobbyist comments, there is no denying that with the number and reach of newspapers is ever increasing. This approach is sure to reach influential lawmakers to favor our scheme. This sets a bad precedent, industrialists a little mad, or this is ingenious, increases Austrian British Fellowship appeasement by 1 but reduced legitimacy. I'm going to say it sets a bad precedent. I hate pissing off the industrialists, but I can't. The legitimacy I need even more. I can't get more legitimacy than I've currently got, tragically. But those simply are the breaks. Alright. So, we're now headed for Hohenzollern, and we should be able to win this in a nice, clean 4 battles. Let's take a look at our mobilization options. Alright, there's that sorted. Now that we've got our own tobacco, I'm going to add tobacco inputs for our armies. Do I produce my own opium? My own dope? Doesn't seem like I do. It doesn't seem like there's any opium in my customs union, actually. Which is a little bit of a problem for going to field hospitals. But I'll have to deal with that problem when the time comes. Alright, I'm building up these things in the Ruhr area now, in the Rhineland. They are still going up in Liberty Desire. Okay, they do not have the increase to Liberty Desire from their overlord annexing a subject. So that's good. That's very good for us. Infamy continues to go down. Cash flow continues to go up. In fact, we're paying less interest than we've ever paid, which is good. Well, if you're so rebellious... 26.3 infamy to reduce their autonomy. What are other countries I could go after? USA, Spain, and Prussia might all try to stop me if I grab Schwarzburg. But that wouldn't be too bad. And Sardinia, Piedmont. Rhineland, maybe. Saxon. 9 infamy. Fewer allies. Only Spain, Belgium, Sardinia, Piedmont. 9 infamy. Let's grab Saxon. We'll send General Command north. And the Prussians are automatically in? So they are. Ah, the Russians might be in as well. Ooh, that screen, I did not... Are they a protectorate? They are a protectorate. Gosh dang it. I completely misread the situation. Now I'm gonna have to send in all the fellows. Well, if I need to call in the British, I'll call in the British. This is not optimal. I did not intend to be doing this way. This intended to be a short war. Well, once I conquer this, I'll be adjacent to Braunschweig. So maybe I'll take Braunschweig. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to see who shows up. Because I'm still currently below... I'm still currently pretty low on infamy. And if I can hold at low infamy, I can continue to eat small countries in Germany. Belgium sides with Prussia, alright. They're currently at war with the British. I think if Russia steps in, I'll call in the British. But I don't think I'm going to need to. I think I'll be okay without them. And of course, if Rhineland steps in, then I will be able to simply stomp all over them. I need another leader in this army. Let me see. We've got an industrialist guy. He's an arrogant pillager. Let's do it. And a liberal. Dios mío, a liberal. Can I add... I can add a humiliate war goal. Can I add a... I could steal Gelra. Temptations. Temptations, there are so many. There are so many temptations in this game of mine. If I could steal... Hold up. Is Gelra in Central Europe? Gelra is in Central Europe. Well, that's exciting. If I add Belgian Gelra and Braunschweig, number one, that makes Westphalen much, much easier to conquer later. Well, not really. Not as much anymore in the new war system. I think I do. I think I do wish to take both of these places. Because I can force Rhineland into the war. Yes. Yes. And then if Rhineland joins on the other side, then I reduce their autonomy and annex them. Alright, I've got a plan. Hopefully this doesn't end up being a mistake. I can make this the conquest of Braunschweig primary, but I'm not going to. The Russians are more likely to join in, but the British are even more likely to join in. All right. A regime change in Prussia. That's an interesting idea. I'll simply call you as an ally for now. Alright, I've got infamy now, but cash flow is better. Are you gonna go to this front, Britain? You've got a good front, Britain. What's the holdup? All right, cash flow. Force comparison in the main front with Prussia and Russia seems a little bit weak right now. Britain should be sending forces, so I think I'm gonna leave that be. let's increase the size of the army. Let's bring the European Security Army up to 100 regular battalions, and we'll add another 15 artillery battalions. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need 5 more. Or 25 more. Oop. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means I've got somewhere where I've got an uneven number. It's over here. Where else? Where else have I got uneven numbers? Niederschließen. That's where. And there's got to be somewhere else. There's got to be somewhere else. I'm not just being wild to be wild. But it seems that I am. So we're going up to 84. Yeah, that seems perfectly sufficient. And then we'll do 5, 5, and 5 for artillery. 5, 5, and 5 for artillery. And that'll be just fine. Those will get built within a really reasonable time frame. I do technically have another country that I could sway. The United States, but they have a truce. And they're the only ones. Alright, well that'll be fine. This is just fine. I'm feeling extremely confident overall in my ability to win this war. Particularly with this front looking the way it is. And that's the war with Netherlands ended. But once I've got a good press through for Prussia, if I force Rhineland into the war, that'll help things out. And then that'll increase their liberty desire, which will get them to be even more revolting. Which will make them even more likely to revolt. And then I can reduce their infamy once I win the war. And I'm going to win the war, right? Hell yeah. Let's shoot guns. I love to shoot guns. Again, this is the front that I'm really concerning myself with, and it looks like we are winning even on offense and even during a blunder, which is very fun. I'm delighted by that. I'm barely paying any interest on my loans, which is good. Not that I'm not paying my loans, I am. Maybe we'll increase the size of the military even more. Maybe we'll increase the size of the military even more. Let's increase conscription. We got a lot of places where you can do a little bit more conscription than we've had being done in previous wars. Let's do a little bit more conscription than we've had in previous wars. Just by a little bit. Just for a little bit. Just a wee bit of extra conscription. Not that one. This one. You got to be conscientious with building up regular armies, because those will stand around being part of the of your military system even when you're not in a war, and that's expensive. We'll increase the game speed back up here. I'm still not doing anything with my fleet. I should increase its size further. We'll build a single large fleet. I'm just going to double up here. Maybe a little bit more than double. And that'll get our shipyards running better. And while this is running, I'm gonna do an unbelievable flex and stand up and walk away from the computer, because the sun has moved since I started recording, and now it's warming me in ways that I dislike. So I'll be back in a second, my nerds. One sec. Oh, alright, I'm back. Costanzo Chanel has been exiled from the Papal States. Wow, are we moving forward here in Russia? Is this our allies pushing us forward? It seems as though they are. Which is fine. You know, let's get on to advance orders, shall we? Defamatory article. A newspaper called the Marin Chronicle has printed a bigoted article about Franco-Provençal people living there. We can suppress the article, or we can let it be released. He threw the tabloid across the table with a huff. Absolutely vile lies, the lot of it. Alas, that won't matter to those who read it. They'll gobble it right up. He eyed the shocked maid's face, then righted himself. Of course they'd believe it. He hadn't given them proof to the contrary. suppress it for reduced authority, or ignore it, -1 standard of living. I'm playing conservative. It's only 1 standard of living. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to retain my authority. Strengthen my authority, in fact. Alright, and Britain is doing a naval invasion over here, which is good. So once we've got a hold of Braunschweig, which it looks like we're going to pretty handily at this point, because these fronts are probably going to merge. Wow! Oh, we're already almost at Brandenburg, the Prussian capital. That's fun. So I think once these fronts merge, which I think they will, I'll move this army over to Rhineland to the west. And that'll be just fine. That'll give me everything I require. And we are doing still pretty well in cash flow as well. So I'm feeling pretty confident in my ability to win this. And more importantly, that will give me a little bit of running wild capability just in this area. I'll be able to just start eating up these small states, which will be nice. How much hold of Braunschweig have I got? 50%. How much hold of Brandenburg have I got? 26%, and I'm about to win another battle. Excellent. Now we're at 51%. Alright, so yeah, so we're very much in the domain of being... Do the children say hashtag crushing it still? Ooh, and mutual fund is almost done. Excellent. 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 Yes. Haha, yes. There it goes. So, let's get commercialized agriculture. Okay, so these are still separate fronts. Okay, they're no longer separate fronts. So now, Rhineland, you're in the war. You guys go over there, and you can swiftly seize all of Belgium, or as much of Belgium as I could desire. And that will hopefully deal with the whole Belgian Gelre situation. And that will make me feel very happy. Because with Belgian Gelre in hand, maybe I'll be able to take the rest of Gelre from the Netherlands. Ooh, eventually. 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 I should have added a humiliate war goal for Prussia. I wasn't thinking about it, but I should have added it. That would have been nice. That would have been rad. Alright. Oppressor and oppressed. The spectre haunting the world event has started. As our industries have grown more and more crucial to the future of the Austrian nation, so too has the working class. Disparate workers' movements have begun to unite under the cause for socialism. The development of modern industry therefore cuts from under its feet the very foundation upon which the bourgeoisie produces and appropriates products. What the bourgeoisie therefore produces above all are its own grave diggers. Its fall and the victory of the proletariat are equally inevitable. A storm approaches, 5% of laborers in Austria become more radical. So, we now have the spectre haunting the world event. The rising prevalence of socialist unrest within Austria has begun to coalesce into a movement that threatens the rule of the upper classes. Struggle between classes has acquired a sharper edge as Austrian workers adopt the methods and principles of the socialist movement. The voices of the proletariat cry out for liberty, for equality, and for bread. Workers of the world unite. Will fail if the spectre haunting the world progress bar has reached 100%. If failed, will triggers the event a world to win. Communist, anarchist, and vanguardist characters will appear much more frequently in Austria. If time runs out, triggers the event firebreak. The Austrian socialist movement will be weakened for the near future. So, we're suppressing the radical movement. Have we got a socialist movement yet? We do. It's very, very weak. But it's likely to go to agitating. So, let's take a look at the modifiers here. Spectre haunting the world progress minus 1.3 average monthly progress, minus 0 from states with loyalists, plus 0.3 for support of socialist, communist, and anarchist political movements, plus 0.1 for activism with socialist, communist, and anarchist political movements, but minus 1.8 from policing and home affairs institutions. So this is going to be monthly, and if we can get them, if we can go for 3 years, then we'll be good to go. Now, this war is not costing me a whole lot, so I could simply time them out, but I'm doing a lot of damage to Prussia here by devastating their lands, so I think I'm going to simply continue with what I'm doing, and that will weaken them a lot in the future. Now, Russia has bailed out of the war, so that's going to make this finished pretty much as soon as I get all the way to the rest of East Preußen, Ostpreußen. Right, and we can launch a unification play in Germany, which I think... I don't know that we can do that. Beautiful. Alright, so, Braunschweig will incorporate. This is state underscore Gelre underscore German. That's very funny. Let's customize this name, shall we? We'll call this Austrian Gelre. That's fun. Incorporation state's pretty low, pretty high turmoil. Unfortunately, a little bit of a shortage of world market access. And infrastructure's not great, but we'll leave that be for now. And then for Saxon, we'll integrate. Infrastructure here is really awful. Incorporation is pretty okay. A lot of gnarly modifiers here, which is unfortunate. So, but I don't want to launch a unification play of Germany because I want to form Central Europe instead. Interesting. Probably a lot of countries would try to fight me if I did a unification play. So I won't. So instead, when we do Saxon, this is Saxon. Okay, so all of this is Saxony. So, for example, I conquer Saxon. Sardinia, Piedmont, and Rhineland would fight. But no one else would. So let's do it. There's a famine in Austria. Where? Oh, it's only 100 pops. Well, we'll subsidize the wheat farms for now. No problem. Alright. Total top-down management. The industrialists have taken an interest in commercialized agriculture. Many industry leaders hope to secure the entire supply chain for their companies. Gentlemen, I present to you a model for the future. Birnbaumlandia. This diorama, sourced from pieces of this project, aims to capture the whole production chain. Cut out the middlemen, as the high street peddlers like to say. We own the farms to feed the workers, the mines to supply the furnaces, and the cotton for our uniforms. One holistic chain focusing on the sale and distribution of our final product. Questions? Middle managers will be a thing of the past. Happier industrialists increase enactment success chance. The workers will need additional protections. Industrialists unhappy, trade unions happy, extra enactment chance. An interesting proposal, we're taking it. Industrialists unhappy, increased enactment chance, stronger communist movement. I'm going to say the workers need additional protections, and here's why. Because having more opinion from the trade unions is more important in the wake of this going off than having more, oh my gosh, they're actually going down. Because a bunch of countries stopped supporting their liberty desire. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so pleased now. This is wild. This is so wild. A bunch of countries bailed out. They were just like, I don't want to deal with the Austrians. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my goodness. I should reset production methods in these areas. What do you want? This is the wood. wood, sugar beets, resources. How are things doing in Niedersachsen? Turmoil is high, but starvation is gone. I'm going to cancel the violent suppression decree here. And instead, we're going to put that money into a consumption tax on tea. Now, cash flow is doing really well. We're actually developing a gold reserve. Beautiful. Rhineland supports Saxony. So let's go. What? Oh, in this diplomatic play. Never mind. I thought it was the thing that mattered to me, but it wasn't. Saxe-Coburg and Gotha backs down. Interesting. No, fantastic. No, that's actually really good for me. Because now we, well, I need to reset production methods again. But that's good. So now the ball game is different because Rhineland is going down in liberty desire. A bunch of people have abandoned supporting their independence except for the Netherlands. And that means I can simply wait, and their liberty desire will continue to fall, hopefully. Which means I can continue to focus on building up my customs union. Now, I am, let me see, glass is still reasonably expensive. Can't do much about that. I'm doing a lot better with engines now. I'm still not producing nearly as much meat as I wish I were producing. So let's increase that. Military shipyards are unprofitable, but they are producing the necessary ironclads for our navies, so that's good at least. Navies are going to continue to be a problem. What I really need to do is snag the rest of Karadag or Montenegro and then maybe Albania so that I can get some more coastal territory. Great Saxon train robbery. The spate of train robberies has been committed by daring gangs all across Saxony. Threatening law, order, and the purses of all the wealthy across the state. They came swaggering through the carriage. I recognized one of them from a wanted poster. No doubt in my mind it was the Ibn Hisham sisters. Our marshals will make short work of them, reduce authority, or who cares about a train or two? Extra radicals from political movements increased migration attraction and reduced migration attraction in Saxony. I'm going to do the second one because I can't be arsed. I love having authority. Just love it. Can't get enough. To be completely honest. I just love suppressing the radical movement so bad. It's my favorite, and it makes everyone think I'm a baller. So that's what we're going to do. Now, is there a country that I can take that I will not get over 50 infamy to take? And the answer is kind of. But it's not Hesse-Kassel, that's for sure. Oh, you're Hesse. You're a different state. That's why. But Sachsen, I'm close. Sachsen, I'm very close. A lot of these countries are named Sachsen, including Sachsen, the state. But, wow. Wow, things are really, really bad here. Things are really bad here, and I can't... There's no industry. You need industry. How's turmoil? Turmoil is unbelievably rough. So, here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. I'll remove my consumption tax on porcelain. And I'll start suppressing dissent in Saxony. How are things in Braunschweig? They're even worse in Braunschweig. Wow! Holy shit! Braunschweig is in a completely population collapsed state. Oh, Jesus. Oh, there's nothing I can do for this state right now. Alright, we're going to subsidize these paper mills. And what that's going to do is that's going to bring a bunch of jobs into the area, which we're going to employ people. It's going to increase standard of living. It's going to increase, you know, all that good stuff. We're going to increase trade. We're going to build a railway. It's going to be better. All right, so now they have world market access. So now they can trade, and that'll be good. I'm spending a fortune on these paper mills, but again, it's gonna increase the standard of living to employ all these people, and that's gonna be worth it. So, other stuff I was gonna do. I was gonna increase the size of my most prominent livestock ranches, my most profitable ones. So let's build up a few in Styria, a few in Austria, a few in Tyrol, a couple in Switzerland, one in Rhineland, a few in Württemberg and Baden, and 5 levels each in Bern and Franken. And that'll be nice. That'll get us extra meat, which will be useful. Engines are still basically going well, doing well. We're still importing a certain amount of fish. Have I gone to steam trawlers for these? I have not. So we'll go to steam trawlers for fish. And that will make fish extremely affordable, which we will turn around and subvene the export of. How much am I spending on subventions now? About 100k a week. Not bad. Mostly on small arms. But I got to keep my my company profitable, because that's my army offensive defense, and I need as much of that as I can keep. I want a spare general in General Command South. Let's grab this intelligentsia fella. We'll just give him a couple of promotions. Just make him a Midland guy. Can I get more legitimacy? Oh my gosh, I'm up to a legitimate government. Oh, not anymore. I tried, my nerds. I tried so hard, and I got so far, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Lighthouse of Progress. Looking to the British system of universal suffrage with a sense of great admiration, members of the trade unions have been flocking to the pro-British societies as of late. Interesting. When I speak Great Britain, alas, the first matters that spring to the minds of many of our dear countrymen will be those pertaining to foreign politics, and not domestic. However, it is to the former, not the latter, that we must look for the foundations of a true and strong bond between our nations. Interesting. There is some merit to the British system. Trade unions join the Austrian British Fellowship, where mob rule has no place in Austria. 2% of trade unions member pops become more radical. Oof, I don't want to radicalize the trade unions, but also, I don't want them in the Austrian British Fellowship. Yeah, we'll let them join the Austrian British Fellowship. Whatever, fam. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Come on, commercialized agriculture. Ha! Otto von Bismarck has been exiled from Prussia. Hold on. This is too good. The memes are too strong. Where are you? Come get this Bismarck, Gussie. And other phrases that you didn't think you were going to hear today, and if someone had offered to let you hear them, you would have said absolutely not. Do not. Let me get only they're he's an aristocracy dork, right? He's a royalist. Well, he's really good, but I don't actually need that. There are interesting people I could get into my country. Dickens is a reformer. He likes compulsory primary school. That would be useful. Can I get someone who likes that in the industrialists? Perhaps. Doesn't seem as though I can. There's no one available. Could get you, but you're a Democrat. Doesn't really help me. Yeah, industrialists only have vote dorks. It seems like. Alright, well. It was worth a shot. Come on, commercialized agriculture. Grassroots support for law. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for commercialized agriculture has spread like wildfire across Austria, spurred by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. They're backing what now? Well, who are we to complain? While their support was never a prerequisite for success, it sure doesn't hurt to have it either. Public enthusiasm expedites reform, stronger industrialists, stronger liberal movement, or use this common ground to calm the masses. 20% of Austrian pops in Rhineland become more loyalist. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't want a stronger liberal movement. I've been suppressing them the whole game, basically. Radical movement is increasing in agitation. I'm not quite sure why. Rhineland continues to decrease in liberty desire. There's military statistics. Wonderful. That gets us pretty much to the end of Je ne colle, which is going to make our navies better. Oh, and now I've got the ability to go to very expensive supplies, which is nice. I think I'm also going to activate rail transport for the moment. Now, financial oh, we can go to publicly traded with these. That's good. Don't believe the hype. They're just pretending they won't be profitable. Oil wells, we can go to tanker cars. That's going to make them even less profitable. That sucks. Rail transport? Even worse. Road carts. Okay, they're fine. Now they're fine. Alright, what was I doing? I was attending to the navies. Where are the navies? Here they are. And apparently I unlocked advanced tactics training at some point and didn't even notice. Haha! Oh man, it's so good at video games. I'm going to automate the military industries. I think that's just sensible. It'll reduce the amount of new recruiting they need to do as soon as they're freaking recruiting. As soon as the war starts. So I'm building up a bunch of livestock ranches. There's a lot of cash in the investment pool right now. I could increase the size of the construction sector, but let's eat this bit of Saxony from Schwarzburg. 6 infamy, it's going to be fine. It's going to put me up to 49, but I can take it back. So, construction sectors. Anywhere we got an uneven number, there is. There sure are, rather. Alright, beautiful. And now, let's simply build a few more. I need 6 levels total. 1, 2. There's commercialized agriculture. 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Now what else do I need for my market? What would be useful for this market? We're importing a lot of our own sugar. I don't know that I can really fix that right now. We're importing a lot of our own merchant marine, though. Merchant marine is produced by ports, which I feel like I can be producing my own of. So, let's increase the size of the ports, shall we? Wow, okay, I got 37 levels here in Küstenland. Alright, that's going to be useful. Spectre haunting the world appears to actually be going up now because our socialist, communist, and anarchist political movements have really kind of gotten going. Fortunately for us, that's not actually a factor as much anymore. It's not a factor as much anymore because the event chain is almost finished. They've only got, well, 1.5 years. Let me see. They're going... Oh, there's a big jump. They're going up by 2.3 per month. They got 21 ticks left. So 2.3 times 20 is like 46, and they're at 26% progress right now, so they're not going to make it. They're only going to get up to about 70%. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. Standard of living is also really, really going up, which is hopefully making our politics simpler. Mutually beneficial. Now that we have more publicly traded companies, we should focus on what comes next. I don't see the problem. What's wrong with more money? Are you telling me that if they offered you more money, you would say no? It's not just about getting more money, it's about who's getting more money. The rich get richer, it would appear. This might affect our politics, stronger industrialists and trade unions, or maybe we can use this elsewhere. Advance progress in international exchange standards. I'm going to do the first one. Trade unions getting stronger isn't bad, and industrialists getting stronger is very, very good. Industrialists are currently extremely strong in our nation. There's even more oil in West Galicia, which is delightful. You're importing all of our own tea. Do I have any capacity to produce tea? I don't think so. No. Some tea plantations. Tea plantations are elsewhere. Tragedy. Alright. There it goes. Wonderful. So. So Saxe Weimar is not currently in a war. I could conquer them. I'm building up a reasonable population in Saxon. Again, Braunschweig is totally fucked. The only way I could fix that is by seizing these territories from both Brunswick, and that would cost 22 infamy, which would not be good. Saxony's finished their war, but if I conquer them, that would put me way above my infamy limit. My infamy limit's still 50. Now that Rhineland's Liberty Desire is actually decreasing by a lot, I actually really need to keep it decreasing. Now that this business is on the table, I wish to annex them, and annex them good. I say, eyeing Gelra hungrily. USA would step in, but I think I can take the USA in a fight. USA has potential to raise quite a few battalions. I would love to increase relations with them, but also I would love to keep my all of my delicious influence on reducing my infamy gain, which is proceeding apace. Sort of a surprise that no one has really made inroads into Central Africa at present, in Central and South Africa. Japan. You wish to grant me investment rights in exchange for mutual trade privileges? I would be delighted, Japan. So delighted. Relations between us are not great. We can improve them, but this treaty will improve them on its own. I'm feeling quite relaxed. Quite relaxed and chill. I keep fighting wars, and it keeps not biting me in the butt. Oh my. There's a whole situation going on. Greece, you're going after Egypt over Cyprus, probably, or Crete, probably. You want to take Crete and also Sinai. Well, good on you for being ambitious. Bring the Prussians in on that. So now here's a question. In my journey to form Central Europe, is any of this territory in Poland? No. It's all in northern Italy, and in Germany, and in the Low Countries, and France, and Schleswig-Holstein. All right, interesting. Scandinavia still has nothing which resembles an army. I may be improving relations with them prematurely. I'm going to stop improving relations with them. I can use the influence elsewhere. And by elsewhere, I mean reducing my infamy gain. Because there are a lot of places I desire to conquer, and so many of them are in these little microstates. So, Braunschweig in the state of Brunswick is pretty populous. There's reinforced concrete, that's good. Oh man. Conquests in Germany are quite the affair. if I make a puppet of Hanover, that would be great. But I also am now going to cause for myself exactly the same problem I'm having in Rhineland, which I don't love. Alright, so now let's take a look at Merchant Marine for a second. Okay, we are now producing most of our own Merchant Marine, which I'm feeling very pleased about. Iron is still reasonably affordable. We're exporting a lot of luxury furniture. We're still bringing in quite a bit of fabric. Sadly, we're still bringing in a lot of hardwood. But some softwood as well, which tells me that we actually need more wood, more logging camps in our customs union. I think there are places we can increase logging. I'll never use the filters. Never. Alright, so where can I increase my everythings? East Switzerland, clearly. Bayern, absolutely. And not a lot else. Let's build up Croatia and Unterkarpaten. Unterkarpaten. Where are you? You're here. Interesting. So as you can see, the Spectre Haunting the World event is continuing to progress, but it's not. Nice. I love this song. You all know I love this song. You've heard me talking about how much I love this song through many, many different series. The number of loyalists is going steadily up, and the number of radicals is going steadily down, and I've been pretty pleased with that overall. Let's take a quick look at our budget. There have got to be places where I'm short on taxation capacity. Mostly not. Only in Venice, which is a little bit of a surprise, but it is what it is. Let's build up a little bit of taxation capacity there. I'm getting really excited for this to cross that line, because once they're in the middle, they can't revolt again, and then it's just sort of smooth sailing, getting them down to the point where they'll be willing to accept becoming a subject, and then once they're a puppet, it's just kind of a joke. The thing about Hanover is I can seize microstates to feed them to Hanover to reduce Hanover's liberty desire, and while that's infamy intensive, it's also really good overall. I'm out of water. Is this really going to be a Degen Cat wanders away from the computer twice recording session? How do I feel? How much longer do I feel like going? I'm off today. I feel like I could go a while. I'm going away. I'll be back in a second. My nerds, I genuinely got sad for a second that when I took my headphones off to go away from my computer, Glory to the Queen wasn't playing. Now, I know what you're thinking. DegenCat, are you genuinely using wired headphones in this, the year of our Lord 2025? And the answer is yes. I have found, in my long years as a gamer, that there is no form of headphone that offers a higher quality auditory experience, either for me or for you, the viewer and listener, than a wired headphone using a 3.5 millimeter aux port. Just a regular headphone. Can I upgrade to torpedo boats? Monitors are 2030, and torpedo boats are 4030. Yeah, I absolutely want to. Spain sides with Sokoto against Great Britain, you get them. We're trying to get this little chunk of Spain back. Which, to be honest, I completely understand. So, what can I build in Japan to increase profitability? Well, my investment pool is quite close to... is not as full of things as I would maybe like. They need tooling. They need tooling bad. And Am I... So the thing I'm trying to make sure I'm doing here is I'm not competing with my own industry. So I'm not selling any tools abroad. So, Japan. Where's your tooling industry? Let's find out together. It's in Chubu. It's literally in Tohoku. It's just in Tohoku and Chubu. Maybe it's in Hokkaido. Nope. There never is. So we'll build up a big build-up in tooling industry in Tohoku and some in Chubu as well. Let me see, this is going to require a little bit of infrastructure here, and a significant amount of infrastructure here. So we'll just go ahead and build that. And that'll be fine. That'll get us deeply involved in Japan. Dietland Helmreich. A socialist. Interesting. She's a hedonistic engineer. Wonderful. That doesn't describe any of you, my viewers. Except for the ones it describes. So it's interesting. I think I'm going to focus on actually getting... That number it's going down isn't going down. So, oh, right, because of... The knowledge sharing keeps falling apart, and the reason I think that keeps happening is because we're unlocking new techs slower than the techs are spreading to them. So, once Trenchworks gets done, let's work on clearing out the tier 3s in production. And then we'll go to the tier 4s, and I think the first ones we're going to go to are radio and electric railways. Why do I always go to radio first? Because radio is the gateway tech for a lot of the really good tier 4 military stuff. So once that's done, we'll swing back over to military. We'll snag wargaming, then we'll snag defense and no. Because actually, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get bolt action rifle and automatic machine gun. And then I'm going to swing over to production to grab the rest of the tier 3s. Because here's the thing. Automatic machine gun is going to give me a very solid edge in military over other countries. And then from there, we'll clear out all the other military ones that are just offering bonuses. We'll snag defense and depth. Actually, we'll snag defense and depth first and wargaming after. War propaganda is reduced morale loss. We'll get that. Sealing strategies offers a lot of really good stuff. And then after that, we'll see. We'll just see how far we're going. Kleinberger's petition government. Moritz Beck-Rzylowski, the ever-efficacious leader of the Kleinberger, has approached the government with a plan to enact racial segregation. A successful enactment is certain to contribute to his reputation as an effective politician. But the matter of Hungary. I genuinely have no idea how this hasn't been achieved yet. But them's the breaks. A word, please. The minister, halfway out the door, startled at the sound. A man stood in the hallway bearing a leather-bound dossier. Beck-Rzylowski, he knew. His appearance was unmistakable. Yes, of course, he said. Should I? Beck-Rzylowski gave a nod and handed over the folder. At least 100 pages, judging by the weight. I'm willing to raise the first draft tomorrow, he said. I would be honored to have your support. We'll see what we can do. They want racial segregation. We'll offer them national supremacy as a compromise, so they must understand the present situation doesn't allow for this. I'm actually going to go for the bottom one. I don't desire to make my citizenship less liberal. Black gold, black money. An inquiry has revealed that government politician Moritz Beck-Rzylowski's recent wealth has been accumulated through bribes from oil companies, allowing them to lease lands without bidding. In an investigation like this, there's a way to know you're on the right track. It's that records of what you look for start to go missing. The harder you look, the more it disappears, until it appears as if a man conjured his fortune from nothing. Once you force them to make it look like magic, you can start figuring out the trick. We must make an example of all parties in this scandal. Moritz Beck-Zalowski receives a harsh sentence and is forced to resign. And the industrialists get mad. An elected official abusing his position is a severe crime. He receives a harsh sentence and is forced to resign, but the trade unions become mad. Corporate leaders undermining our government cannot be allowed to walk free, reduce legitimacy, and industrialists mad. Where even great people make mistakes, they can all be settled with some fines. Trade unions mad, reduce legitimacy. So I need to choose between both pissing off the industrialists and pissing off the trade unions, and then between pissing off the between losing legitimacy and having him leave the government. I'm perfectly fine with him leaving the government. I can piss off the industrialists a little bit. We'll do the first one. So who's leading the industrialists now? Oh no, it's the same as it's always been. It's the same as it's always been. Alright, with that having been said, that wasn't a great petition, and it's time to put the Kleinberger out. For now, at least. Once they're not headed up by a traditionalist, it'll be different. Sadly, the industrialists don't like technocracy. And I don't think I can find a guy that does. I don't know why I hit that button. I don't have any slots. And it always takes the game forever to load anyway. Alright. So that'll be good. And Rhineland is over the line. Alright, and they're going down at 0.28 per week. So now things are just completely hunky-dory. They're very reliant on us economically. They've got pro-government interest groups, pro-overlord interest groups in both government and opposition. We got a strong network of alliances and defensive pacts. It's all very rock solid. And we're knowledge sharing with them once again. So this is good. Now, Hanover I'm going to improve relations with a little bit. Just to get them up over the cold line. Because I do want to take over Hanover eventually and then incorporate a bunch of these other small countries. I think that'll be good. I learned my lesson from playing as Serbia before, and I'm going to naval invade them, and that's part of why I'm building up this large fleet. The other countries that I'm going to take over, instead of building a, instead of relying on marching my units across, because that's going to build up their liberty desire, which is going to defeat the whole point. Firebreak. So this is the end of the Spectre Haunting the World event. This is functionally a conservative victory. Whether through the trust of our people or the truncheons of our soldiers, Austria has emerged unbroken from the wave of socialist agitation that threatened it. They still saw the pamphlets sometimes. Decayed paper corpses, trapped in the gutters, caked in soot and mud. Bold red and black ink abraded by rough stones and rougher footsteps. The police had not bothered to pick them up, viewing them as an affront to their gloves, or perhaps realizing that their fallen remnants made more of a statement than their complete disappearance. A triumph for all of Austria, extra legitimacy, loyalists from political movements, and political strength of laborers. 2% of upper stratum pops and middle stratum pops become more loyal, or things will never be the same again. Less loyalists from political movements, no extra legitimacy, same reduction in political strength of laborers, 5% of upper and middle stratum pops become more loyalist, but stronger fascist and reactionary movements. I don't currently have a fascist movement or a reactionary movement, but I do love legitimacy. But more loyalists overall. I'm going to go with the second one. I think that's the conservative answer. You know, in many cases I've picked more, I've erred more liberal, but I think in this case, I want to more align with the conservative establishment. So I'm building up a bunch of industry in Japan, and that's going to be good overall, but it's not increasing the size of my economy, which I do need to continue to increase the size of. I'm going to outpace the British Raj eventually, and the British Raj seems to be, oh, they're still in line with Britain because I'm allied with Britain. You know, I am going to need to go after the British eventually. if I should increase the size of my militaries. I should create some coastal defense forces. Let's round up some army sizes, shall we? Again, I'm looking for areas where I have uneven numbers. Ah, here in Braunschweig. Well, Braunschweig, I can't hardly do anything in Braunschweig. Turmoil is really low. There's starvation. There's a standard of living crisis. Nobody wants to be in a job. And building things is going to take forever. I think Saxony... No, I still need to be suppressing bad stuff in Saxony. I'm supporting the paper mills. They are hiring. Is that increasing the standard of living here? It is, a little bit. Let's build some light industry. Let's build textile mills. And we'll build the sufficiency... Well, actually, we only need one more railway to cover that. How's Gelra? I've been mostly neglecting Gelra, although Gelra has been mostly functioning. They definitely need more farms because they are having a little bit of a starvation crisis. Let's build up some livestock ranches as well, and that should be fine. I'll subsidize those. Actually, no, livestock ranches shouldn't need subsidization. Shouldn't need subsidies, is the phrase. We've got a real shortage of bureaucracy, so let's see where I'm short on capacity, and it doesn't seem like anywhere, which is a little bit of a shock. So I'll simply build them in the capital. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be just fine. Those will get built really fast, and that'll be just as much bureaucracy as I need. Investment pool is still rocking a very healthy amount of cash flow, which I'm pretty pleased about. Let's look at the society side of the tech tree. I've really been neglecting this area a little bit. I do think I would want human rights. Tech spread, I could really use more tech spread, and that consists of building up a large university somewhere that I can use to produce a bunch of excess. Ooh, we're making photos. I completely forgot. So let's build up a level 10, a level 12 university in Austria. And you know what? We'll throw that. Nah, you're in a good spot. Well, these textile mills are going to take forever. Let's throw 5 levels at the top of the queue. And then we'll do the other 5 levels once those ones are done. So that means I'm going to finish out. What I need is a larger construction sector, I'm realizing. That's what I want. Let's go up to 120. Let's go up to 120, and we'll focus our construction on the the territorial core. So Baden, Bayern. That's 14. Böhmen and Franken. That's 21. How's that 21? No, it's not 21. It just took its sweet time filling it out. All right, we're good. We're good. Violent suppression leads to increased discrimination. Radicals in Franken seem to be getting support from discriminated Ashkenazi citizens within the state. If they want to protest there, we should let them. It will likely only make things worse if we try to force them to submit. If we have to deal with them in the future, they'll all be in one place and much easier to take care of. We say where they can and cannot protest. Increased radicalism in Franken from discrimination for open prejudice, status pops or below, but armed forces happier, or let them protest where they want. Increased migration attraction, increased radicalism, but only by half for discriminated pops, as if we do the first one, but armed forces mad. I'm going to go for happier armed forces for 10 years. That's very good. I love having the armed forces be happier. That's very good for the country and our ability to win wars, which we obviously need to continue to do. How's it going, Rhineland? I could unite Rhineland in Rhineland, but I don't wish to do that because it's going to mean more infamy when I have to eventually annex them. I am also in the red financially, but that's okay. I've got a huge gold reserve, and building up stuff is really important to be doing in terms of the overall success of the country. Let's throw these livestock ranches in Gelra into the top of the queue. Because I do want to improve Gelra. I took that territory for a reason. They're trying to open the Qing market, the British are, which is what it is. We've now crested 13 standard of living, putting us at 31st place. And I don't know about y'all, but I think we might be... We're not doing better than Britain, and we're not doing better than Scandinavia. We're doing about as... We're close to Scandinavia. We're very close to Prussia. We're way ahead of Russia. Belgium and Netherlands are crushing us, but they've got very low populations. But, like, we're ahead of the French now. We're ahead of two Sicilies, though we're behind Sardinia, Piedmont. So we're doing very well in terms of standard of living overall. Saxony, we've almost fully incorporated. Turmoil is moderate, but, you know, we're doing okay here. We're working on building the place up. We got some textile mills under construction. I'm going to throw those universities in at the top of the queue once again. That's going to make things go a little bit faster. And again, the goal of the university is to get my tech spread up, because unspent innovation flows into tech spread, and that's very important. Particularly in any area where you're not keeping yourself out ahead of the technical curve. It's 1882 and we're getting to trench works. I think that's pretty good overall. Like, I think that's a rock solid place to be, but, you know, we're just being careful. Musin ad-Din Ahmad, exiled from the British Raj. I know I haven't been doing many conquests recently, but I'm trying to be careful because I want to get Rhineland, you know, to the point where I can annex them, because I've got to form Central Europe. I've just got to. Let's try something insane. What would it take to get Alsace-Lorraine from France? Because there's a maximum that I can get in raw cash. Shame. Alright. I guess it means I'm just going to have to fight them in order to get Alsace-Lorraine. Which is a shame, because I would love to be able to purchase Alsace-Lorraine. That would be a lovely thing to add to my empire. And there's Trenchworks. So, let's go ahead and upgrade all of our units. This is going to necessitate an increase in the munitions industry. Let's increase our... Let's get a little bit more infrastructure and stuff from our urban centers. I think you can probably go to covered markets. That's going to increase the price of steel, but that's okay. Now, what was I doing? I was looking to our munitions industry. So, Bukovina, Karpen, this is just in a lot of places. Let's build up a munitions industry in Venice. We'll build up 6 levels, and that should hopefully provide everything we require. Rhineland is steadily decreasing in liberty desire, which feels really, really good. There are no longer countries supporting their independence. So, I figure once we've finished conquering, once we've finished getting them down to the puppet, this state of affairs, then we'll reduce their subject payments. That's going to give us an additional reduction in weekly liberty desire gain. And after that, we'll take a protectorate over Hanover. And this is what I've been preparing this for, because as we increase their relations with them, we're essentially doing what we would be doing after conquering them first. And that's going to make things better in the long term. I've now made glass quite expensive. But we're still exporting a lot of the output of our glassworks, and that's been mostly efficient. We've got a lot of levels of artillery foundries and a lot of levels of arms industries. I guess the world really loves our small arms and our artillery. Particularly our small arms. We've got high-powered small arms, and that means that the world is purchasing so many of our arms, and I think that's worth it, because again, it's keeping our combined arms, combined Austrian armaments conglomerate in a really good spot financially. So we need another leader. This guy is an intelligentsia guy. We'll give him actually a further promotion. Let's grab this Catholic Church guy and see who else is in here. Okay, we got an opium addict. We'll throw him in there. This guy's a surveyor, but he's reckless. So we'll throw in this intelligentsia guy. And you know, GK South will just be a mix of guys with various things going on. Now, European Security Army. Let me build up a level in Styria, and then for GK South, we'll build the other levels. I heard that I've got an event. I heard it. I need 4 levels of artillery. And then 4 levels of cavalry. And that should even us out, which... and 1 more level of infantry in GK North. And that should be good. Alright. I recognize that this thing I've been doing with keeping the numbers of my armies all flat and even is very silly. I recognize that, but it is what it is. We're just going overall for slight increases in the size of our armed forces. And in fact, I think it's time to increase the size of our artillery contingent by just a few more. So we'll do a little bit more infantry, and then we'll do a significant boost to artillery. So you see, this is going to be 60, and this is going to be 45. This is going to be 15. Oh, actually, I'm going too fast. I need to further increase infantry here for GK South. Now GK North, I think I'm just going to do the same. So 65, 45, 15. So 65, so 45, so that's 3 blocks of 5. 1, 2, 3. And then 15 there. And then for the European Security Army, let's bring the infantry up to 100. And the artillery will bring up to 70. So I need 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I brought them up to 80 instead. There we go. Why am I going out ahead of what I've got, of what I'm capable of? The answer is because I'm, Why do I have more than a balance? Why do I have more infantry than equal amounts of the other ones? It's because if I'm riding too close to the edge, the armies can lose organization at a critical time by going over, and I don't want that. Oil rush subsides. With the groundwork of the Ostgalician oil industry complete, its appeal and promise is waning amongst those seeking to carve out their fortune. The nature of these operations is that eventually a few people will hold all the cards. The industry lives on, but our hands are played. We're not among the few. But the oil will last forever? Oil rush forced on, which reduces migration attraction, increases oil industry mortality significantly, reduces oil industry employee throughput, increases oil industry employees' total count, but increases extractors' throughput, or shuffle the expertise into manufacturing, increase manufacturing industry's throughput. I'm definitely going to do the second one. Photographs of Austria. It has been suggested that we take and distribute some photographs of our country's most famous landmarks. So many wonderful places all across our country. It seems just right that the world gets to see them too. We should distribute them internationally for extra prestige, or we should distribute them domestically for extra legitimacy. I'm going to go with extra legitimacy. I love having high legitimacy. You have no idea how much I love having high legitimacy. In fact, my most legitimate government will benefit significantly from this. I could bring back the Kleinbürger, but those guys asked me for racial segregation a while ago, and I don't like that. How's my power block doing? Do I have the ability to get my fourth? Nah, I need more members. And right now, I have kind of a critical shortage of power block members. I haven't really been focusing on increasing the number of power block members because I've just been like conquering and puppeting countries and stuff like that. So I haven't been doing as much as I should be on that score. But I think I've been pursuing a correct strategy, particularly as Rhineland is concerned. Because once they become a puppet, life is going to be a lot easier. The Netherlands is a minor. If I wanted to go absolutely buck wild, I could turn Netherlands into a puppet. That would be nutty. What have they got? They only got an alliance with New Grenada. There are definitely countries that would fight me about this. I would need to lay some heavy groundwork by improving relations significantly. We are rivals. No, we were rivals. We were rivals a long time. They're embargoing us, but we are improving relations with them. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I just finished out all my increases in my barracks, and Britain is asking me to help in a war against the French. Oh. Well. Look at all this. It seems I might be getting Alsace-Lorraine after all. So, who's likely to align with who? The United States are likely to align with the French. I'm okay with that. It doesn't look like anyone else is going to step in. So, let's add a war goal. I can transfer a subject. That doesn't help me. Let's conquer Alsace-Lorraine. 28 infamy. Sucks. My infamy is going to get above 50. But that's okay. Let's put all our armies on the front. And the United States sides with France. That was inevitable. It was definitely going to happen. Cash flow is looking good. I could take this opportunity to increase the size of the Austrian Imperial Navy, which I think I might do. Right, I was going to form some coastal defense forces. Let's do that. Let's have one for northern Italy and one for the Balkans. So, we'll call this the Balkan CDF, the Southern District CDF. CDF being Coastal Defense Force. We'll put 15 levels of infantry, 10 levels of artillery into this army, and then we'll create a new army. We'll create it in Italy. We'll call this the Western District Coastal Defense Force. And we'll do the same for them. 15 levels of infantry, 20 levels of artillery, and what we'll do is we'll throw some infantry conscripts into each of these armies. Not many. We need commanders. Let's go with this, well, this guy's pretty good. That guy's actually good. So we'll go with this terrible dude. And then over here, we'll go with this church guy. We'll put... can't mobilize them because they don't have battalions. That's alright. Southern District Coastal Defense Force needs... infantry... Perfect. Alright, there's 10 levels there. And once these buildings are built, we'll be good to go. And now... the European Security Army can have someone really good in the armed forces as another one of its leaders. And that'll be nice. That'll create a nice little buffer there. Let me see. I am still overpaying my armies. I sure am. Alright, that's good. That is what I wish to be doing. Start conscription in these new armies, and we'll leave them in their current HQs for now, and then we'll be good. Low organization, dang. I really thought I built up a sufficiency of munitions plants to not have this problem. But many of these are not fully deployed yet. So they should be increasing. All right, they are increasing in employment. And that is going to steadily make the war effort easier to war effort. Unfortunately, due to my infamy, Rhineland is no longer going down in Liberty Desire nearly so fast, but that's okay. Our force comparison here is rock solid. I'm almost finished building out these armies. So once they get hiring, I'll just have good solid coastal defense forces here. And I'll be able to run roughshod over anyone who wants to naval invade me. I think I'll probably create, actually, a northern coastal defense force. Let's see, an ambitious woodland combat expert? Absolutely. 5... 10, 15, and then 5, 10 for the artillery, and then just as many conscript infantry as I can reasonably snag. So the army can get a few more. Yes, I can. Beautiful. Mobilize and raise conscripts, and then we'll have a we'll call this the Northern District CDF. Oop. And then, once I've got borders on the North Sea and the Baltic, we'll be ready to go with that. But more importantly, we'll have some forces that are prepared to defend I knew they were over here. To defend my coasts when the time comes, and someone naval invades me. The entrenched front. Heavy usage of trenches in Baden by Wilhelm Denzler has turned the land into a blasted hellscape. The stalemate cannot last forever, but it's not clear what the best way forward is. Have you ever been there in the trenches? It's less lonely than you think. You have friends everywhere. The rats will be with you every day and night, and even when your mates die, they'll stay right there with you, just down below in the mud. You must entrench further in Baden. Wilhelm Denzler gains trench rat, increased mortality, and reduced agriculture throughput in Baden, plus 10% devastation, or we can't let our defenses stagnate. He doesn't get trench rat, less devastation, less penalties, but extra progress in defense and depth. I'm definitely going to pick the second one. I love getting free tech progress. Let's see how the battles are going. It looks like we might be winning. The French are no longer allied with us. That's not a shocker, because we're stealing some of their core territory right now. But here's hoping we can steal it and hold it. Force comparison's looking rock solid right now. Our coastal defense forces are getting stronger and stronger. They're increasing in organization, which will allow them to be better prepared to defend. And I'm pretty pleased about that. I'm pretty pleased about that indeed. Cash flow is doing just fine. I think I can wage this war thoroughly sustainably. And we're getting pretty close to having automatic machine guns, which is going to make us much, much more able to effectively wage this war and any other wars we should need to wage. And the best part is Rhineland is still going down in liberty desire, despite our infamy being above 50, which I'm really, really pleased with. See, the thing is, if you can get them down to low liberty desire, and I realize I haven't been talking about this as much because as Austria, there's not that much sort of empire building necessarily once you've got your Crownland diets annexed. The reason I want them low in liberty desire is because if you get them down to low liberty desire, you can reduce their autonomy without costing yourself any infamy. Looks like there's a naval invasion happening in the home counties, which, you know, France, I kind of wish you all the luck in the world on that, but because I want you to stay away from Alsace-Lorraine so that I can take that, and then I can get my war goal and everything can be hunky-dory over here. The French are currently could be described as big mad. They're damaging relations, but I'm okay with that. I'm pretty okay with that. It looks like the British are definitely winning these naval invasions right now, because I think the French are not invading with sufficient forces. There's also wars happening globally, although the British are losing these other fronts. But again, I don't necessarily wish to... The French will have war support protection. I guess I have a large fleet and the ability to use it. Where should I send my fleet? What should I do with my fleet? I think I will raid convoys in the Bay of Biscay. That seems like a wise deployment of my fleet. And we're at 77% control of Alsace-Lorraine. That's very good. We're losing 120k a week, and the amount is increasing, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. And we're actually the #1 great power in the world with all of our forces currently arrayed as they are. There are a few places where I need a little bit more taxation capacity. So let's build up that taxation capacity. I should do a trade capacity pass. Oh no. I've seen this event before and it's tough. Spurred on by innovations in financial law and the proliferation of the railway, the German lands are abuzz with activity, with new companies and business ventures springing up like toadstools. The foreman cracks his whip again, driving the exhausted team of horses forward. They've made decent progress today. Most of the sand had been carried off the site. But decent is not good, and even good is hardly sufficient. The whip cracks out again. The foreman feels a pang of guilt for the poor creatures, but quickly pushes the thought away. Mercy will not transform this site into a new factory. Determination will. Buy, invest, expand adds Gründerzeit to the Journal of Austria. To maintain investor confidence, the combined GDP of all German countries must grow by 2.5% growth per quarter. Gründerzeit journal entry bonuses will be stronger, but so too will any subsequent crash. Following modifier will be active for the duration of the Gründerzeit journal entry. Tempo of the founding years. Reduced loan interest rate, increased political movement pop attraction. 20% increased capitalist and shopkeeper investment pool contribution efficiency. Or the second one, let's not get too carried away. So, all the standards are still the same. If we do the second one, the Gründerzeit bonuses will be weaker. They'll be half. So 5% reduced loan interest rate instead of 10%, and 10% reductions to political movement, pop attraction, and capitalist and shopkeeper investment pool contribution efficiency. But if we fail the Gründerzeit journal entry event, then the penalties will be less bad. So, I'm going to say let's not get too carried away. Let's take a look at the Gründerzeit journal entry. An investment craze has gripped the German lands as capital floods into railways, factories, and banks with feverish intensity, driven by boundless optimism, speculative ambition, and the promise of a new industrial age. Tempo of the founding years. The Gründerzeit journal entry is organized in financial quarters. Each 3 months, the combined GDP of all German countries in Europe will need to grow by at least 2.5%. Failing to do so will deplete the progress bar by 1, while succeeding will increase it by 1 instead. The progress bar reaching 0 will result in a financial crash. Will fail if the progress bar has reached 0. If failed, triggers the event Gründercrash. Possible event effects, choose one of the following. All interest groups in favor of free trade get free trade discredited. All of the following financial conspiracy theories and interest groups in favor of ethno-state get proliferation of anti-Semitic literature. Effects of those are free trade discredited is weaker and unhappy. Financial conspiracy theories is radicals and for discriminated pops. And proliferation of anti-Semitic literature is extra interest group attraction, again for ethno-state groups. Investment banks. Excellent. If time runs out, triggers the event 30 Years of Progress. Possible events, choose one of the following. Spirit of the Glorious 30, Glamour of the Glorious 30. Spirit of the Glorious 30 is extra capitalist and shopkeeper investment pool contribution efficiency, probably forever, or extra prestige for Glamour of the Glorious 30. So, this is a pretty hard standard to meet. We'll see what happens. The Journal of Philosophical Studies. Members of the Philosophy Department from the University of Ungarisch Tiefebene have signed a formal petition for government funding of their next project, a scientific journal. With the foundation of our philosophical studies, we welcome a new era in the scrutiny of the mind, an era of rigorous research and serious experimentation, an era of scientific collaboration among our foreign colleagues, a safe haven in which all investigations pertaining to this topic can be shared. We have no resources for this. 5% of academics pops in Ungarisch Tiefebene become more radical, or fund this journal. Costs us 30k government expenses per week for 5 years, but gets us extra prestige. I'm going to go for the second one. I'm going to spend that money. I am now holding Alsace-Lorraine, which means as long as Britain conquers Alsace-Lorraine, I should be good to... I'll be pleased with the war ending. Enemy of my enemy. Building upon a perceived common enmity to Spain, pro-British associations have become commonplace within the patriotically inclined landfolk. The assembled gentlemen thoughtfully nodded along to the words of the speaker. As long as Spain remains a threat, no asset to be utilized against her remains unwelcome. For every British effort undertaken at the expense of Madrid is one less effort they would have to undertake themselves. Encourage them, Britain's cause is ours. Non-folk gains the Austrian-British fellowship. Appeasement increases by 3. Austrian relations towards Spain deteriorates by 20. Non-folk are entitled to their opinions. They join it, no other modifiers. Or our relations with Spain must take precedence. 10% chance of they join it anyway. 90% chance of they get extremely unhappy. And reduces their appeasement of the lobby. That sucks. I'm going to have to go with the first one. I don't want too many lobbies and too many groups in there. So France does continue to have war support protection. I have war support protection as well, though, because they're trying to liberate Rhineland. All right, perfect. So as long as I keep pressing forward here, eventually France will stop being able to resist us, and that will be just fine. They've given up attacking Great Britain. They've given up invading Great Britain, but they're moving to this front, which could be bad for me, but it could be not so bad. I am successfully pressing forward with no problems right now. And I'm sinking enemy convoys, which is nice. My torpedo boats are helping with that. Unfortunately, I've decayed my relations with Hanover significantly by seizing Alsace-Lorraine from France in a war, which nobody likes because it's more infamy. I'm also going to need more... There's the bolt-action rifle. Wonderful. Let's get production methods changed. That's my computer running slowly, not yours, by the way. Yeah, give me more bolt-action rifles. We'll find a place to use that oil. There's something going on in Hyderabad? Hyderabad, yep. Mahashastrian uprising. Franco-Provençal mass emigration. That's unfortunate. Where from? Can't tell. I think mostly they're in western Switzerland right now. Yeah. Western Switzerland. Are there any in eastern Switzerland? No. Things aren't going well in former Switzerland. Well, western Switzerland's doing okay. Eastern Switzerland is going down. Is not doing so great. Let's build up some stuff there. So I need to start building again, or this journal entry is going to fail. And it's pretty hard to get stuff built because, you know, we're just not building that fast. Investment pool is pretty close to being empty, despite the fact that because they've been building up with private funds through the course of the war. Let's target the capital, lads. Let's not be silly here. We can't just invade whatever place we decide to invade. Let's go for the capital so that we can actually win this war. Rhineland is unfortunately going up in liberty desire due to the Belgians now supporting their independence. Happily, though, they'll be going back down before too long because my infamy is going to be below 50 for too much longer here. And that'll allow me to get away with whatever I wish. At least I hope so. Unless a bunch of countries start supporting their independence again, which I really hope they do not. We're moving fast. Low organization in the southern and western districts. Let's increase the command capacity of these various countries. I also now have the capacity to form an additional company, which is nice. Reduce military goods cost would be good. I'm currently spending... that would save me a lot of money, because I'm currently spending 750k on military buildings. Let's do it. This is a good one. This is a good one. Cheaper armies. I like it. The munitions conglomerate of Styria. Let's give them investment rights. And that's all the company charters I've got. I can give them access to the sulfur mines, but I don't wish to at the present time. Alright. We're nearly there. We're nearly there with our infamy. Just a little bit longer. And how close are we to holding Ile-de-France? 77%. This battle is almost a victory for us. And now we're holding it. So they should no longer have war support protection at present. And do they? They do not. Alright, beautiful. So that gets the war... That means the war is now on a timer from the French perspective. And come on, just a little bit longer. Beautiful. And now Rhinelander Liberty Desire is going down again. Beautiful. That's just beautiful. All right. That's lovely. So I'm going to need a little bit more... I'm going to need a little bit more governance capacity to bring... Alsace-Lorraine into the Empire. Let's build up a little bit more capacity in our newly conquered or newly annexed territories as well. I think that'll be reasonable. We just built up a bunch of industry over here in eastern Switzerland. Let's get some iron mines to support that stuff. That should help. Now, what else do we need for our market? I think we're doing just fine for military supplies. I could definitely use more munitions plants, though. So let's build up a bunch of levels of munitions plants in Tyrol, shall we? That'll increase the size of the economy. Again, this is like a little bit of a... We're going to do some funny money here and subsidize these munitions plants because, again, the thing needs... God, it's 30 years. We need to keep this going for 30 years. Well, we can safely constant build once this war is over without losing much money. So that should be all right, although we are currently in debt right now. Bringing Alsace-Lorraine into the customs union will also increase our everythings overall. It's a very high population state with a lot of Alemannic and South German people in it. French are reasonably well tolerated. There we go. Let's incorporate the state. And we actually had just about enough capacity that we're in the same place as we were before. I'm going to improve relations with the French. I still don't wish to necessarily be going after them. They're damaging relations with me, but I don't know, them's the breaks. We are now on the border with Belgium in the north and south, and we will soon be on the border with Belgium more generally. Liberty Desire is going down. Not nearly as much as it was before. And I'm not sure how to reckon that. Most of it's from infamy. They're not as economically reliant on us as they once were, and we're not spreading stuff to them. Again, granting them a state is a real risk. How much will it get them downward if we grant them... Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, hold on. Do a promotion. The intelligentsia demand the promotion of Brigadier General Edmund von Kobratin, touting his history of loyal and effective service. So many medals adorned his jacket that one could scarcely see the fabric beneath, but it was not yet enough. Chest puffed out with pride, the general smiled as he imagined the look on Miklas's face when the field marshal learned of his imminent ascension. The rivalry was legendary among the officers. At last, he would have his due. Edmund von Kobratin has earned it. Happier intelligentsia. He's promoted to Major General, or the intelligentsia will not force our hand, which causes them to be unhappy but makes the industrialists happier, and he loses popularity. I'm going to go with the first one. Happy to have happy intelligentsia. Condemn slavery. Our rival Spain continues to practice slavery. We could easily condemn them on the world stage for this. The fact that this sick, disgusting, and depraved practice is allowed to continue anywhere in the world is a slight against humanity itself. We must condemn the practice strongly and publicly as soon as possible. We must condemn it. This reduces our influence, but reduces Spain's prestige, or we don't want to upset them with salty intelligentsia. We must condemn it. Sad. So as you can see, the economy is stagnating right now. Again, this is a really hard journal entry to keep up. Let's build up some military shipyards, shall we? I don't have military shipyards here, which is really shocking. Oh no, I do. I do. I'm just bad at looking at things. You see, you are producing steamships, and then the reason we're doing this is because we need ironclads for all our stuff. Build up a few over here as well. Oh, these are civilian shipyards. Build up the military shipyards as well. Ha! That was smart. I'm so smart. I'm such a big smarty. A real smart cat. A cat of the smart. France is supporting separatism. That's fine. Okay, so they're currently at 39 Liberty Desire. If I granted them Rhineland, that would reduce their Liberty Desire by 40. Damn. They're currently at 39. I really... Oh. Do I want to do that right now? I kind of want to... Well, now they're going up, because they got more countries supporting their independence. Is my truce with Prussia over? It is. Unfortunately, I can't I can't conquer Westphalen right now because my infamy is too high. And again, economy is declining. This is just, this event chain is the problem is big industrial buildings of the kind that increase the size of economies take too long to build. And it requires a lot of luck. That's my kind of analysis on this. Famine, where? That's also nothing. It's an infrastructure problem, it's a taxation capacity problem. And it's a trade capacity problem. We're incorporating the state already. Let's halt our suppression decree there so that we can do one here. Because this is a lot of turmoil, and I don't want to have that much turmoil. Obviously, population is going down, but it's not going down that much. Wow, it's going down a lot, actually. You know, that's pretty rough. I need to normalize production methods is what I need to do. So hopefully these businesses will be profitable. Okay, the steel mills are profitable. Alright, textile mills should be profitable. Let's look at the weapons industries. Why are the textile mills not profitable? That's bananas. Mines are mostly profitable. God, this is a really bad... Alright. Gunderkrach. Gunderkrach. Not sure how to pronounce it. Grunderkrach. Years of optimism and financial growth have come to a screeching halt, with blood-red numbers reported across German stock exchanges as banks and speculative companies collapse like dominoes. Bank run in Vienna. The announcement of the liquidation of a series of prominent companies triggered an avalanche, sweeping away not only small investors but also well-known financiers. All day, telegram couriers have been frantically dashing through the crowds, and merchants were seen burning their worthless stock certificates. Speculators and rampant economic liberalism are to blame. We lose the tempo of the founding years buff. We gain Grunderkreis. Extra political movement pop attraction reduced. Capitalist and shopkeeper investment pool efficiency for 5 years. Or this is the work of predatory agents in our midst. We still lose tempo of the founding years. We still get Grunderkreis, but we also get slightly stronger Kleinberger and increased radicalism for discriminating pops due to financial conspiracy theories and proliferation of anti-Semitic literature. I'm going to do the first one. I think that's obvious. I don't want that other stuff. I really want to end negative population growth in Alsace-Lothringen. It's hard to tell. Okay, infrastructure's good. Probably the devastation causing increased mortality and reduced throughput is what's causing the problems in the state's businesses. In terms of food, I need to build up food industries in order to make that happen. Do I have sufficient construction capacity to do all this at once? I surely do. Alright, that'll be fine. That'll be just fine. Brazil, the old so-and-so. You want trade privileges in exchange for trade privileges and investment privileges? Absolutely. Can't believe their liberty desire is going up again. I'm gonna have to do it. Alright, so I'm gonna grant them Rhineland? What if I grant them Gelra? No, that's only worth 5 liberty desire. I'll grant state Rhineland. Confirm. And then we'll decrease their autonomy. And then we'll reduce subject payments. And then do we exempt them from service? I think we do. Actually. So. Ooh. Winds of change. We've urbanized the nation. Bohemia, Böhmen, has come a long way since our attention was first brought to it, going from small houses and scattered farmlands to being on its way to becoming a blooming metropolis. The woman sighs. Her old hands stop crocheting for a moment. When I was younger, all this was farmlands. Us kids would just play freely in the fields, not having to worry about getting hit by a cart or those criminals coming to get us. And we still had time to work. Well, Grandma, now people will have even more places to work at. Finally, Böhmen shines like never before, extra loyalists from political movements, or, this is not the end, increased urban center throughput. I'm going to go with the first one, which I always do. So, this is a major goal achieved. Their liberty desire is now trending downward. There are still countries supporting them, but if I can get... I think one more war should do it. Because they're getting support from both Netherlands and Prussia. I think maybe if I go after Prussia again, I can get them further down in liberty desire. What I really want to do is get my infamy further down. I really goofed up that goal during this whole situation, but more importantly, for nation formation, for Central Europe, I need 35 state regions. Currently got 22, but now I believe Rhineland, Nordrhein, and Ruhr are all considered checked off, which is good for me. So from here, there's the automatic machine gun. Beautiful. So I'm going to enable that method in all of my armies. Oh. Oh, man. Good thing these secondary armies didn't need to, like, fight or anything. It could have been real bad. I will activate rail transport for these armies. That'll be just fine. That could have been bad. So what do I want to do here? I'm kind of at my limit of things I can do to increase, to reduce Rhineland's liberty desire gain. I've got them right in the middle, right at about 50. Other than reducing my infamy, which I will achieve simply by waiting. I suppose I could build more stuff in them. To increase their economic entanglement. I think if I can get a truce with other countries, that forces them to stop supporting that stuff. So what if I go after forced nationalization? That's interesting. How many... What percentage ownership? Prussia does own 50 or so levels of industry. So if I do that, let's do a good vintage and then we'll worry about that. The wine produced in Württemberg has been lauded by sommeliers as outstanding. When people say this in the ages like wine, they don't always make the distinction between wine and wine. So let me make that distinction. If you can get your hands on a bottle from Württemberg, that bottle can be more than just a good time. It can be an investment. Make this an exclusive product for export, extra prestige, or increase production to meet the booming demands, increased wine building throughput. I'm going to make it for export. Where am I in the rankings? I'm back below Britain, but that's okay. I problem is I don't want to increase my infamy, but I want to continue seizing territory from Prussia, so I don't want to go into a war with Prussia at a time when I can't seize territories. See, this is the situation in which I find myself. I could force... If I force nationalization, 6.5 infamy, Russia will help them, Belgium will help them, but I feel like I can take all of them in a fight, especially if I can bring the British into it. That would nationalize a bunch of building levels and create a truce. And I believe that truce would stop them from supporting the independence of the Rhineland, which they are giving the Rhineland 0.1 liberty desire per week. Conquering Gelre would be too much infamy for this. I can also do a forced nationalization war goal on Belgium. And again, because I'm adjacent, I have the ability to fight on both of these fronts. So this might be worth it. Let me go a little bit longer, because I can get... Rhineland's liberty desire is currently going down by a little bit. And getting my infamy down is going to make this easier. So once I get below 37, which will be in about a year, I'll be able to do both of these without getting above 50. And that's going to keep things chill and hunky and also dory in Rhineland. France is unhappy with me. Belgium is unhappy with me. The Netherlands are unhappy with me. I have very few friends here in Europe, but I have to keep getting larger. I'm just so large. I'm just so large, and the only way to continue to be increasing in largesse is to make enemies. I came here to shoot at reformers, and I'm playing a reactionary playthrough. I came here to shoot at reformers and form Central Europe, and there are no more reformers in Austria. Oh, the Russians and the British are fighting. Russia's going for the return of Ely. Unfortunately, there's very little I can get, unless, of course, I can force nationalization of Russian-owned things in my country, which is even less important than it would be if I did for the Prussian or the French ones. Does Prussia have investment rights in me at present? They don't. Oof. Should have paused first. War goals. Force nationalization 7 infamy. Gosh dang it. Transfer subject. That's not useful. And unfortunately, none of the state regions which comprise Central Europe are located in Russia right now. So I think I'll just continue to chill. Vulcanization, nice. If I bring the Kleinberger in, I can get even more legitimacy. But I'm alright with my current legitimacy as it stands. Vulcanization, though, let's get ourselves... Ooh, I've got another method for artillery foundries, forgot about that. Let's enable machine steel tools. That was dumb, I don't have a source of rubber. That was really dumb. I don't have a source of rubber. I guess I'll need to pay for the import of rubber. But we're manufacturing precision tools right now. Strike wave in West Galicia. A wave of workers' strikes inspired by the socialist movement have racked industries in West Galicia. Striking workers have joined protests in several cities across the region. The officer had expected the workers to be different than they were. Unwashed, stained with industrial effluvia, soaked in sweat. They were none of these things. They wore the same clothes they would on weekends, fresh and clean. There was pride in their eyes. Instead of the cowed expressions of exhausted men, they stood defiant, their faces hard, their hands gripping signs that called for the world and more. Make it known that we recognize the demands, reduce industry's throughput in West Galicia, weaker socialist movements, stronger trade unions, or get them back to work. Significantly reduce throughput, but angrier trade unions. I'm going to go with the first one. I don't want the trade unions to be big mad, and they're currently big mad. Because work to rule is really bad for me, for my country. Interest payments are modest. Growth in GDP does continue. We're still not ahead of British Raj, but that's okay. And Rhineland's liberty desire is continuing to go down, even if only a little bit. Again, we need to get below 37, so we need to get into the 36. It'll get to the point where 36 is the number displayed here, and that's where we want to be. Still got a lot of peasants and some unemployment, which is a shame. But, you know, we're still working. We're still working. Very slowly increasing relations with the Netherlands. They're very antagonistic towards us, but, you know, we're chilling. We're doing our best. If I need to take Gelra, it'll be what it is. Another revolution in Mecklenburg. The sad part is I can really safely conquer any state that's fallen to communism. I just don't... What is this big, thick, black line here? That's just the line between Jutland and Schleswig-Holstein, but it's not... It's weird. I'm not sure why that line is there, because it looks like it's a big border, but it's not really. Schleswig-Holstein is just a state in Scandinavia. And again, I don't wish to form Germany, I wish to form Central Europe. Central Europe is the country that I wish to be my country. If I want to get really ambitious, I can make the Netherlands into a protectorate, but I need to get the Rhineland annexed first. And that's going to take a long time. Especially at our current state of affairs. So our current state of affairs is they're at Liberty Desire 48. They're losing 0.04 per week, which means they're losing 4 every 2 years. And now it's down to 3. 3 every 2 years. And that's why I've got to wage this war, to get the Prussians and the Belgians off of my back. And again, I could allow for my infamy to go away. I could do that, but I don't necessarily... That might be better for me long term. That would allow me to expand more opportunistically if I did that. And once I've annexed them, I can simply go a little buck wild. But I think this way is going to be better. If I can get these truces rocking, then I'll be able to just devour them. Because, again, they're getting really a lot of their liberty desire from countries supporting their independence. If they can lose 0.100 twice, that's really better for me. Hey, stonks! Nice. I've got 3 profitable companies all at once. Hell yes. And so now I'm making even more money because I've got the munitions conglomerate reducing military goods cost. And that's going to be even more pronounced in the event of a war. Alright, speaking of which, we're very much getting there. It's just going to be a few more weeks. Oh, and we're in the process of producing high-grade explosives. The Anti-Japanese League demands action. The Anti-Japanese League is requested that we declare a rivalry with Japan. Successfully acting on the proposal will gain our government significant goodwill from the lobby. Alright, the Anti-Japanese League is just the intelligentsia. And to those who would refuse and prefer preserving the status quo, there was no hesitation. His response sounded well-rehearsed because it was. This was a proactive man, one who spent hours pacing his chambers and anticipating attacks to come. My reply would be that we should never have allowed them to become so close to us in the first place. Our friendship built upon deceit is nothing at all, and the goodwill gained from it, illusory. We will look into this. Oh, this is not in our interest. I'm going to say we'll look into this. I don't have a problem with rivaling Japan. It's going to get us a lot more influence to play with anyway. The Ottoman is having a civil war, a radical revolt. And you know what? Good for them. The Krakow Advocate, an explicitly partisan newspaper founded by members of the radical movement in Krakow, has published its first issue. Between advertisements and political cartoons, it hosts a ruthless critique of government policy. There was a certain brilliance to it. By printing it on the cheapest paper, by skimping on ink, by flooding it with advertisements and large text, one could produce a profitable paper for only a penny per copy, whilst its competitors sold for 5 to 10 times that amount. By making the paper relentlessly and shamelessly endorse a certain viewpoint, one could have every working person in the city aware of it by evening. If one's competitors refused to stoop that low, they would become responsible for their own suffocation. How long can a partisan paper last? Stronger radical movement? Or is that so? Deny them a printing license, weaker radical movement, more active. I'm going to allow them to print. I'm currently suppressing them. So the suppression should have, yeah, minus 55%, which is quite substantial in effect because of my high home affairs. Philosophical pragmatism, that's nice. That gives me a boatload of extra influence, which is also good. We're very close to getting there. I could cut it a little close. It probably wouldn't affect things too much, but I'm not a cut-it-close kind of cat. Ooh. No, I can't. I don't want to establish the dual monarchy. On the plus side, I have several Austrian states with quite low turmoil. Can I look at turmoil? I can't look at turmoil, but I can look at radicals, which are a good shorthand for turmoil. So it's mostly Transdanubia and Krain. So if I build up these areas by, say, building up coal mines and industries, let's say fertilizer plants and then maybe explosives factories, maybe? And then maybe munitions plants. Not too many munitions plants. Let's see if that helps. Let's see if that helps in Krain. I've still got a really rock-solid, Okay, never mind. No, my finances are down bad now, but that's okay. Experiencing low construction efficiency, this is probably due to angry trade unions? No, it's not due to angry trade unions. That's curious. The trade unions are currently Republican. We get a lot more money going to proportional tax. Oh, never mind. I can't do that. Let's go to dedicated police forces. A lot of people are going to be happier with that. I can't believe it took me so long to realize that I wasn't at dedicated police forces already. Ha, what a smart cat I am. Oh, how smart. How very smart. Oh, landfolk are marginalized. Nice. And there's the improved fertilizer method. Wonderful. So let's get improved fertilizers, and let's get the farms using them. You think you're not profitable, but you are. You're just pretending. Get some slightly more efficient, some labor-saving production methods going on with these mines. I think that's actually going to make them more profitable. They're just pretending. But as soon as they do the math, it works out better. Oh, right. Oh, I have the ability to build cotton plantations. Where do I have cotton plantations? Lombardy. Ooh, I've got them. That's very good, actually. Lombardy, you're going to need some additional railways, my friend. No, you're not. You have plenty of infrastructure. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, I'm delighted. I'm so delighted. I'm so very, very delighted. I realize I'm putting myself in debt leading up to a war, but, you know, them's the breaks. Maybe I'll just wage the war as soon as these construction projects are finished. Did I not build railways? Right, I didn't build railways because I wasn't actually short on infrastructure. Discord within the trade unions. An influential faction within the trade unions has grown frustrated with their co-members' neutrality on the topic of dedicated police force. Themselves in favor of the law, they've now resolved to form a separate political faction intent on passing it. How can you all stand idly by and watch the world pass before your eyes? Have you no sense of honor, of duty to your fellow man? I say nay to such lack of ambition, and I dare say I am not alone in this. With their support, the bill shall pass, extra enactment success chance, weaker trade unions, or the Kleinberger extending an open hand to these mavericks. Less enactment success chance, but the trade unions become much weaker and the Kleinberger a little stronger. I'm going to go with the second one. If I can weaken the trade unions, that will be good for the forces of reaction in the country more generally. I thought the trade unions were integralist for a second, and I was like, oh, curious. Alright, so, nearly finished with the first round of factories. Again, obviously costing the government a huge barrel full of cash, but that's okay. You gotta spend money to make money, right? Rhineland has the infrastructure for all this. Oh my god, they don't. Oh no! I beefed it! I beefed it! Oh no! And we'll queue in a bunch of trade centers on the back end of this. This might have been a mistake, but I'm really trying to get I'm trying to improve standards of living. So, let this be a lesson to you, friends. Sometimes the government is dumb and doesn't know what they're doing. Which, if anyone who's watched me play Victoria 3, like, you know this is true. Transportation shortages. Oh, goodness. I've got some real market access issues. Not great. Let's, oh, goodness. Okay, there are 3 of these building already. Let's queue in a few more. East Switzerland. Well, they need trade capacity too. Mähren. They're good. Oh no, this is right. Tyrol. Build 1. Partium. Build 1. Ukraine we knew about. And Austrian Gelderland we need 1. Alright. That should be fine. All this is going to slow down my plan, but it's going to be worth, friends. You're going to be so impressed. You're going to be so impressed with the effectiveness of my... Why are the construction efficiency borked now? I know what you're thinking. Is this inebriated feline actually not good at video games? And I'm here to tell you, the allegations are entirely unfounded. The cat is good at video games. This is all the evidence points to the cat knows how to play video games and is good at them. You can see the numerous videos of the cat playing and winning at video games, and yet here we are, watching me completely beef my own economy in Victoria 3. Why am I building cotton plantations? Because, friends, the amount of cotton I am importing is too damn high. Look at this. It's like half my my cotton supply is imported. And that's silly. That's absolutely silly. I shouldn't have all this imported cotton. Where'd it go? Where are we? Where are we here? Here it is. I should be producing my own cotton, and I have the capacity to produce my own cotton in various areas which have the capacity for highly productive cotton plantations using all the latest production methods. Law progressed to assent. Wonderful. Thomas Mittermeier has appeared in Austria. How are things going? Okay. Oh, actually, look at this. Their liberty desire is going down now. The countries all stopped supporting their independence, which is really, really good for me, because now I don't need to wage pointless wars against the Netherlands and Prussia. Instead, I can wage reasonable, smart, sensible wars. Prussia will never again threaten German stability. So, what's the expansion plan once I've annexed Rhineland? I want to puppet the Netherlands and seize Gelre. Insane, I know, but it's got to be done. Then I want to do the same for Hanover. Hanover I can make happier by just feeding them chunks of these other states. And that's going to be an absolutely absurd expansion plan. Really, really sick. Really, really dumb and bad. And that's the way we like it here in the Austrian Empire. We like it when things are all over the place. Why? Do you have a population crunch? Okay, here we go. The railways are hiring. They're just pretending not to be hiring. Alright. So, how much more infrastructure do you need? You need a lot more, but you got 4 railways running. Okay, we're looking good. You should also have some urban centers producing hella infrastructure. No, they are, but not that much because they're not all that profitable. All right, we're at 94. How is the? I see the event there, but let's take a look at the railways. All right, looking good, Producing 75 infrastructure. It looks like we're 75% employed. Yeah, we're getting there. All right. Okay, I think that was 70, so now we're at 80%. And we're there. We've achieved. We've completed. Krain is full on railways. And in fact, it's going to even have a little bit of a buffer. So that's good. I did it. I didn't completely goof up Krain's economy. And now our GDP is even going up. The other side of the fence, in Niederschlesien, people have been complaining about the difference in living standards between us and our neighbors in Prussia. After the shop door swung shut, they exchanged a meaningful glance. She didn't even notice that you gave her the wrong change. Why do you think I do it? Her sort, they can afford it. I'll be damned if the Prussian can think they can come here and flaunt their wealth, expecting us to just tolerate it. This is simply an example of global inequality, happier and stronger trade unions. Clearly, they're liars who cheat foreigners out of our money, serious relations with Prussia, or it is the way things are not worth thinking about. 5% of pops become more radical. The Prussians are liars. I don't desire stronger trade unions. Get me pictures of Prussia performing crimes. Parker, you go out there and you get me pictures of Prussia. No, Ottoman Empire is back doing stuff. In fact, they've become an unrecognized regional power. If I were lower in infamy, I might take them as a puppet, just to be completely silly and go buck wild all over here. Sad little Bulgaria. But this I'm really, really happy about. Even with the penalty to decrease from change rate scaling, their liberty desire is still going down in a really, really healthy rate. I'll probably try and, well, let's not count our chickens before they hatch here. I definitely would like to get their liberty desire. I'd definitely like to get my infamy down even lower before I actually annex them, because my suspicion is that as a war gets going, there are going to be a bunch of other countries that want to participate, and I'll have a really good opportunity to snag a bunch of like the rest of Gelre. Maybe I'll get a protectorate over the Netherlands. Maybe I'll grab Westphalen. All that good stuff during that war. Rousing speech captivates the public. This afternoon, Eduard Taffe, leader of the Austrian aristocracy, delivered a fiery speech advocating for the enactment of dedicated police force. Making an appearance before the public in Vienna's main square, Eduard Taffy's powerful rhetoric left even his most embittered political opponents impressed. Excerpts from the speech are already being circulated across Austria, fanning the fires of an already brewing debate. This should ease the path to reform greatly, 15% enactment success chance, or performances like these reflect well on Taffa and his cause. 10% increased enactment success chance, but he gets more popular and the Austrian aristocracy get stronger. I'm going to go with the first one. I don't want to see the Austrian aristocracy stronger. The forces of reaction can be centralized within the industrialists without any issue. And there's open hearth process for our steel mills. That's going to make things much more efficient on the steel side. I know they think they're unprofitable. They're just pretending. They're lazy. Those steel mills, lazy steel mills. Let's subvene export for a little while, just to get the export markets going. How much am I spending on subventions now? 120k a week? Reasonable and sensible. Actually, subvening oil. I don't think I need to be. Oil's a really healthy export. I don't think I need to be subvening oil exports. Oop. Sorry. Oh, that's the opposite of what I wanted to do. Oh man, friends, I am all over the place right now. Hershey's porcelain, rubber. It's really mostly steel and small arms. But getting those steel mills subsidized is really important. Oh my goodness! Suddenly, an Italy formed, and they're big mad. Well, this will be interesting. Italy is not that strong a country, though. There's dedicated police force. That's wonderful. And more importantly, now I have the capacity to increase the amount of levels in the institution, which will give me more authority, which will be nice. So this is interesting. Russia, what are you going after Hanover for? I'm trying to get a protectorate over Hanover, but I was going to do that. This is interesting. This is really interesting because that was something I was going to do long term. But that having been said, I don't think I've got the patience for another war. I have been at my computer for about 3 hours and 15 minutes, and according to the recording time here, and it's getting to be too much, friends. I can play video games for a long, long time, but, you know, sometimes a cat has his limits. So, that is where I'm going to call the episode. It's been a great episode. We've gotten a lot of really good work done. We've expanded westward, we've expanded northward, we've made friends of enemies, enemies of friends. We're seeing the rise of Italy, the rise of Scandinavia. It's all been a really interesting time in Europe, and we're not going to look anywhere else because definitely nothing crazy going on. That's actually kind of a boring world. I genuinely thought there was going to be anything really crazy going on. Yeah! Big Chile! Big Chile! Excellent. All right, I'm very pleased. That and extremely pointy United States. Greater Texas. All right. Anyway, that is all we've got time for today, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.